Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And this is Friday Night Tights, everybody. Welcome, finally. So much for that early start, huh? Down in San Diego is my co-host, Dennis Pathalkas. What's up, Dennis?
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Carry over from Venture Brothers there.
Yeah.
So tonight we have our regular Susan will be jumping on in a little bit, and we have a guest. We have Mecha Random 42. She will be jumping on in a little bit as well. We're going to start this one off with we don't need to use our paddles for this one. We're going to do a spoiler-free review of the first couple episodes of Iron Fist season 2. I want to preface that spoilers can mean a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yep.
I have been criticized for saying character names. That's not a spoiler. We know that there's people going to be in the show.
They've already announced. I'm just going to say it flat out that Typhoid Mary is in this.
Yeah. So we're going to tell you about characters and stuff. We're just not going to give you. We're going to keep it really loose with the plot.
Yeah.
So not that there's a bunch to worry about, but so we're going to start out talking about basically the first episode of Iron Fist season 2, which is the Fury of the Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
This is an adaptation of some comic books a little bit, but you got to be careful. We were at the panel at San Diego Comic-Con for this one, and the guy who's running the show, the new guy, I can't remember his name, came out and said, yeah, I've read the comics. And a lot of times when I hear that and other people hear that, we think they're going to adapt the comics. No, it sometimes means they just read the comics.
Yeah. So I read the comics.
Yes.
That was fine, but here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So overall, what have you thought?
I got a really Big Trouble in Little China vibe, and I'm not talking about comedy wise. I'm talking about setting wise. Is what I've got. He did a nice job of the feeling of Chinatown, because it all takes place mostly in Chinatown in New York. At least the first 2 episodes that I saw, and the dialogue's a bit rough though. The dialogue is kind of on the choppy side. I'll just say that. There's more fight scenes. They're actually really nicely done fight scenes, because the guy who's in charge was a former stuntman. So I really like that. But overall, I'm kind of disappointed they haven't gone any further. And like you and I talked briefly about this, he should be an established superhero at this point. No more. It's more of the origin story. You could see it coming. And it's like, for God's sakes, just make him Iron Fist already with the costume. Move into it. Move on with it. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is man. Iron Fist season 1. A lot of people didn't like it. I was okay with it as a big long origin story, but by the end of Iron Fist season 1, Danny Rand should be Iron Fist.
Yep.
At this point, now that he's been in the Defenders, he has shown up in
Luke Cage,
Luke Cage as well, and season 2 and episode 10, which is a really good episode, and actually the best thing Finn Jones was in as Iron Fist. He should be established, and there should be some mention of the fallout from the Defenders.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that he was supposed to like cover Daredevil's area a little bit.
That's what they made it sound like at the very end of Defenders, that he was actually going to take on the Daredevil persona.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Now that's not happening, and they haven't mentioned it in the first couple episodes. So if you're looking for it, it's not going to show up in the first couple episodes. It's a definite improvement on season 1 for sure. The fights are pretty damn good. The dialogue isn't that rough to me. It's more of how it's being delivered by one in particular actor, but I think Finn Jones has bulked up a little bit. He's still scrawny little dude for the role, and it looks like he's taking it more seriously. I like Colleen Wing so far, and Davos is in it, and that he's pretty badass. But I don't know, man. I see kind of where they're going with this, and we will do a full season spoiler review within the next couple of days. And we'll get into more detail. I'm hopeful at this point, but as I tend to do with these things, I skipped ahead a little bit, saw a couple things, and without giving away any details, because this might be spoiler, I am very disappointed by one thing. Very disappointed by one thing. And I think a lot of people will be, because there were some promises made at this panel. There was Jeff Loeb alluded to a couple things, and one of them really didn't happen the way he said was going to happen. So I think I'm curious to see what other people are thinking about this. But so far so good. How would I compare it to Luke Cage season 2? I'd say it's on par with it right now.
Luke Cage season 2 dealt a little too much, with politics, I guess you could say. Not politics like the politics that everything's going on right now, but more of street politics rather than just beating some ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Like what Iron Fist is doing is okay. So they did mention the hand. I can say they mentioned the hand at some point, and some fallout from that, and that's interesting. There's some gang stuff in it. There's multiple stories going on here, which does keep it moving a lot faster. So this is paced so much better than season 1, and the acting is better, the fighting is better. There's just a couple things I was expecting more. I got my expectations up when I saw the panel at Comic-Con, which is a big propaganda rah thing, and it worked. I just don't know if that's what it's going to be at the end. So we'll see when we give a full spoiler review. What I liked about it, like I said, the fights, and they're also getting into the head of Danny Rand and how he's dealing with being the Iron Fist, and it might be getting to him a little bit. There might be, I don't know. It seems to be they want to put PTSD in absolutely everything. So it seems there might be some of that going on, or something else. I'm not sure. I do like the family connection with Davos coming back. And listen, Danny Rand did kind of fuck up. I mean, Iron Fist's mission is to defeat the Hand, and that's what he did. But they lost Kunlun.
He's supposed to protect Kunlun. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Because if you don't protect Kunlun, then what's the use of defeating the Hand?
And Davos, as much as points that out, he's like, and he's like, I asked you to come back, and you didn't, and this is kind of all your fault. It kind of is. What's been happening to poor Danny is he's just he kind of rolls into the world really innocent, and he's caused a lot of problems. And just because he's innocent doesn't make him not guilty of this. Does that make any sense? He's innocent in his worldview, but he's guilty of.
He's naive. He's naive. Yeah, he's very naive and thinks that it's makes him zen, and it's not. It's actually it just makes him stupid and blind to things is really what it does. And like Gary was saying, there is something that happens in the first episode with Davos, and he misinterprets it completely. I mean, completely.
Yeah, he's clueless on a lot. Well, it's in the meeting with Joy as well. We see Joy come back, and it is dark Joy. So, and there's a plan going on right now, and we also have Colleen going on some side story with concerning her personally. We'll just say. Yeah. Which I don't know if this fits in at all right now. It just feels so tacked on. But I don't know. I love the guy playing Davos. He is so good.
Davos is awesome. There's a great scene in episode 2. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's pretty funny with Joy as well. So, but it's.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. I mean, and like I was saying, the person playing Typhoid Mary, she's, how can I say this? She can't act. I'm just gonna say that flat out. She can't act.
I think a lot of times when you get, I think she's Australian. Okay, when you get European or Australians and they have to do an American accent, they really tend to enunciate. We don't enunciate at all. We're very lazy with our language, and they're very proper. I would almost prefer that they just give them their natural accents. There's no reason why Typhoid Mary can't be Australian. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Well,
that's kind of my thing with Doctor Strange, with Benedict Cabbage Patch, is I would almost be okay with Doctor Strange having an English accent. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I know that would make some people freak out, but
the woman playing Colleen Wing is British. She has a British accent,
and she's good.
She's really
if you're good at it, that's great. Yes, and I do that, but
and I like, she's
Alice
doing
Eve. Alice Eve
yes.
is playing Typhoid Mary. I was looking up the IMDb. I was trying to.
I knew it was Eve, and I couldn't remember if it was Eve Alice or Alice Eve.
And Jessica Henwick is playing Colleen Wing, and Sasha Darwin is playing Davos, and he is put into the best performance. Why? Well, he's got his natural accent, and he's a damn good actor. And a little shorter than I thought he was. Not that that matters. I was just like looking at him compared to Finn Jones. So I was kind of hoping that they would do more cameos in these two, since I don't think they're going to be doing the Defenders. And it doesn't look like Luke Cage is going to be in this one. I don't know for sure.
I don't think so either.
We know we're getting Misty Knight, which is great. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see more main character interaction. We did out of this. We got a Daredevil season 3 teaser, which is fucking amazing. I can't wait. Did you also notice the episode count?
10
episodes.
Yeah.
Didn't hear that at the panel.
Yeah, no, we didn't hear. They didn't give us a count on that. And Carrie Dalton, yes, Kirk's love interest from Into Darkness, Alice Eve, is the one who plays Typhoid Mary.
Yeah,
the one that was, they had the whole controversy of her just standing there in underwear for the most part. So
there's a controversy about that.
It just, there was. Never mind. It's a long story. So a long story about nothing.
No,
really.
I just like that's kind of something I want to talk about real quick. Melissa was talking about what she will be doing a Jack Ryan review, but she saw on the net that there was some criticism of the sex scenes and what Dennis was just talking about, and they had Colleen Wing and Danny, spoilers, they make out and they show him going to bed, and they just cut away now. And is that problematic now to have sex scenes and be sexy, and like Hollywood's dead if we can't like get a little little booby action once in a while? Or
it's Marvel, so they don't want to show boobs. And also, I don't know, the one with
we'll
Ward,
cut people's heads off with a door, but don't show any boobs.
Yeah, well, that's the way. It's the American way. You know how it is.
No, I wouldn't call that. I disagree with that. I think the American way is boobies too, and for the ladies, some dong action, but or guys, whatever you're into, it's cool. Not judging here. We are happy free society, but I think the loss of sex. You don't have to show it, okay? But they just cut it. It's like, don't bother showing it if it's just going to be kissy cutaway. Then what's the point?
The word scene was actually fairly.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty good. Pretty good. But between our main characters, but the ward scene was not done in it was not a healthy way.
No, it wasn't a healthy scene. No.
No. I do like how they're putting the whole, Wards go into meetings, and his, I don't know where his side story fits, but I like his redemption tale. He was the one thing that like annoyed me at first about season 1, and then I ended up liking him by the end of the series.
Yeah.
And he, by the way, there's a little business meeting in the beginning. This isn't a total spoiler, but I'm just going to say Ward is right. Ward was right from the get-go on this one. Neither of them, Joy or Danny, were listening to him, and he's absolutely right. So he's come around. So there's a scene where Ward does some 13th stepping. For those of you in recovery, you know what I'm talking about. Happens quite a bit. The only thing that was unrecovery about it is that's why that when they went to 13 stepping, it made sense, because like dudes usually don't like share with dudes. You're supposed to like be with another guy as a sponsor, and you're supposed, yeah, that's the way, you know, you like men usually 99% of the time don't have female sponsors and vice versa.
Yeah.
But they seem to, you know, I like that they're dealing with this. There are some things that are good, some things not, but the overall like lack of sex scenes, and even HBO has been cutting down. It's like, what? It's just something I thought of that's kind of troublesome, you know, because not that I need that in every one of my films or anything, but sexiness does add. It makes the world better. It does. It makes the world happy.
Yeah.
Unless we want to be a bunch of fucking mindless drones running around, which is fine. That's what you want. I want no part of that. Boobs are shunned. It is so wrong, says Marcus Kahn. It is. You know, and no, I'm not crying to see like Colleen Wing or boobs or anything like that, but you know what I'm talking about.
Slurmy Scott says, how many of us have said, oh yeah, I want to see that movie again? It has a great ass boob scene. Never mind.
Yeah,
there are some movies.
There are some movies that are, you know, there's some that like Stripes, for instance, you couldn't, that's a little wrong. You know, I mean, like, but that's was the time and everything, you know, when John Larroquette is spying on the woman in the shower. But there's also, you know, times where it's just right. And by the way, we do have to mention, we used to start every podcast with a death. Kind of thought better of that as time went on. We have to acknowledge the passing of Burt Reynolds, and we get, you know, I'll also bring that up again when Susan and Mecca are in here to hear their thoughts on it. But rest in peace, Burt Reynolds. I loved Smokey and the Bandit.
He was also in Burn Notice, the last season of Burn Notice, if I remember correctly.
He's in Boogie Nights, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also in Sharky's Machine.
Sharky's Machine, Venture Brothers, yeah, the Night of the Movie Massacre. Yes. Actually, one of my favorite movies, my favorite Burt Reynolds movie, is Hooper. And I've probably seen that movie, I would say conservatively, at least 130 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It used to play all the time on, before it was HBO, there, you know, they had like Channel 100, which was like a paid, like way back when cable was first starting out. And it was like on every night or, you know, a couple times during the day. And yeah, it would be on all the time. So
to wrap up with Iron Fist before I bring the ladies in, and they're not here because like they would just be sitting here listening because they didn't see it, and I'm not going to force them to see it. And that says something that they, and this is no judgment on Susan or Mecca, they have no desire to see that. So all this effort to get more people watching, more women, more people watching the Marvel universe. I don't know if it's working or not. And I don't know if, you know, like Marvel appeals to pretty much everybody, but what Netflix has been doing with the shows lately has been really hit and miss, And like, listen, Punisher is, that's a dude show. It's a straight up dude show. Yep. Now, like you can make arguments about Daredevil and stuff, but, yeah, it seems like what surprised me about the 10 episode count was it seems like Netflix is wrapping things up. Another thing, and tell me guys if you saw this, or maybe it's just the cookies on my computer, but every time I went back to Netflix, there wasn't a big ad for Iron Fist. There's a big ad for Ozark. I kept on seeing Ozark every time, and I had to search for Iron Fist too.
Mine popped right up right away.
Yeah, mine didn't. Mine was Ozark. So that's weird. It's a show I have not watched. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but
it's just been listening to your phone. That's all.
You joke about that, but that actually.
No, I'm not joking about that. I'm saying it has been. Yeah.
No, you. Yeah, me and my boss at my last job were talking about Hawaii one time, and all of a sudden I went to Google and a Hawaiian pop-up came up, a Hawaii vacation pop-up came up. What the fuck? And that was on my work computer. So overall, it's better than last season. I'll say this. I have a big thing about costumes in superhero movies and TV shows. Okay.
Me too.
It is really important because that's your character. If they don't wear a costume, then it's just a guy saying he's Iron Fist. That's all it is to me. That's the biggest problem I had about Gifted. It was just a bunch of people saying they were these superheroes we heard of, but they're really not. CW is kind of fallen into that trap too a little bit. And even the Marvel, even the MCU, like Infinity War. I was watching bits of Infinity War today, and Black Widow doesn't look anything like Black Widow.
Nope.
At all. Like Vision looks like Vision, but Scarlet Witch doesn't really look like Scarlet Witch.
No.
And Falcon, he's got the wings, but he doesn't look like Falcon. It's starting to like, we've come so far and we can't do costumes, guys. Come on.
Even Cap really, I mean, his costume was all blacked out.
He's supposed to be Nomad and everything, but he doesn't wear his mask anymore. He wears a beard. He has a beard. So he's actually trying. We're at the time where he's trying to hide his face and he doesn't wear his mask. He grows a beard. That's not that I have anything against beards, but I just don't like this costume thing. And it's the actors who bitch about it. It's the ones who they don't want to wear it and stuff. And that's why Deadpool worked. Okay, one of the main reasons Deadpool worked was that costume was spot the fuck on. Why did Iron Man work? Costume was spot on.
Yep. Why did Superman work? The first Superman, I'm saying, because costume was spot on.
Spot on. I was looking over at my Christopher Reeve. I'll show it. Oh, at the end of the podcast, I'm going to do a room tour. We're going to do it tonight. You guys could bail out for that if you want, but we're going to do a room tour. All right. So Iron Fist, okay so far. What do you think?
The first 2 episodes in, I'm waiting to see where it is. Like I said, the dialogue for me is a little choppy. I'm really loving the fight scenes. The fight scenes are really well done. And I'm noticing that they are blocking it more like a comic book this time around too. The shots. It just kind of struck me, when I was looking at it, I'm looking at a comic book panel. There's a certain scene that happens in Kunlun for a flashback. That's an overhead shot, and it's a panel.
Everybody's seen that. That's been out there. Yeah, it's so good. That scene is good. And at towards the there's a scene in one of the 2 episodes where you see Danny kind of walk downstairs. Colleen's asleep or faking to be asleep, and Danny goes downstairs and starts practicing being Iron Fist. Basically, he like punches a door over and over again.
Was he practicing, or was he just...
Well, no, that's I'm trying to say it without spoiling. Okay, so that's not necessarily what he's doing, but he's down there being Iron Fist, doing Iron Fisty stuff, and he takes his shirt off. That was blocked really well, like a comic book scene too. That was really done well. So there are some good things in it, and we have not seen the whole thing yet. Mm-hmm. So and we will let you know in our full-on spoiler review. It is hard for us to do non-spoiler things because I like to blab, but let's get the ladies in here.
Yeah, let's do that.
And chat with the chat.
I'll talk to Renee Manceo. I said that right this time, right? It says because Christopher Reeve and Richard Donner, they messed with the recipe. You mean they didn't mess with the recipe? Well, they also got the guy who wrote The Godfather, Mario Puzo, to write the script. That's the reason why that first movie rocked. When you actually have someone who can write your script, and you have a good director who has a vision of where things are going, who's also a fan of your stuff, of the original material, source material, isn't afraid to go comic book with it, that's when shit works. If you have someone who's like, oh, I'm an auteur, I'm going to take Batman and now he's going to be an abstract painting in a glass of Chardonnay and a woman's shoe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when it, no disrespect to Tim Burton or Chris Nolan, but they were Tim Burton's Batman and Chris Nolan's Batman. That wasn't DC's Batman. It was they were good movies that I love, and they're classic, and I dig them. But honestly, Ben Affleck's Batman is the most real looking Batman to the comics, without a doubt.
And I have to admit too, even though I didn't like him, I wasn't a big fan of his. Hello.
I made it.
Mecca. What's up? And Susan.
Hey.
Susan. Hey. Oh my God. Finally, you guys classing up the joint here.
I know, really. We stunk it up for you. We're going to leave now.
Yeah, we're done talking about that Iron Fist show. So we're gonna for one, Susan from Parts Unknown, how's it going?
Hey, it's busy as hell. Very busy.
Well, yeah, you're writing for like 18 websites and you're running one now and doing podcasts and musicals and yeah, I don't even know how you have time for little old us, but that's great.
I always make time.
That's awesome.
For fun things, I always make the time.
And we also have a very special guest, fellow Tribunal member, Mecha Random 42, first time on our channel, which is an honor. How's it going?
It's going great. Yeah, I heard you were doing an office tour later on. I'm just uploading my second part of my office tour tonight.
Nice. Oh, good. Be sure to go over and see that, and we will be plugging you a lot.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. Thanks. And congratulations on 7,000 subs, Mecha.
Oh, thanks.
Well done. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I owe Anti-Trekker a shout out because he's the one who really pushed those final like 10 people to subscribe yesterday.
Yes, we love the Anti-Trekker.
Yeah.
It was cool. We were in his chat last night and had a good old time, and him and his little poop avatar is pretty damn funny, actually.
Yeah.
No, he's hilarious and smart. That guy's fucking wicked smart. Yeah. So what we do here, Mecha, is we just talk about the news and give basically snap judgments and unsolicited opinions on everything. So kind of like a normal live stream, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I've watched you guys, so yeah.
Cool. All right. So Dennis has got the news.
Yeah. So the first thing we're gonna hit is we just finally got our first view of Captain Marvel on the cover of EW, or Entertainment Weekly, for those not in the know there. And we also got a look at some Skrulls as well. Not Scrolls, but Skrulls. Different pronunciation.
The Skrulls, I don't have a picture. You can see them on the right there.
They're down below there. If you click on the picture there, it'll enlarge.
Click on the picture where?
No. Right. Oh, you missed it. It's right there. I can see it. You're right there. Oh, it doesn't go any bigger than that, huh?
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
That looks pretty good. Yeah. I'm going to say that looks like Skrull. That's kind of cool. I like how they got the chin down, the little Kirby chin. Yeah. That looks pretty damn cool. Why are they at the beach? Are they surfing?
They're coming out of the water, from what I understand. I guess they were doing a little night surfing and, fell asleep and then woke up in the morning there. And
with coats on.
Yeah. So Amari Daniels. I'm sorry?
That's how you do it. Surf at night in coats.
Yep.
Are those waterproof though?
Yeah.
I would hope.
Yeah, that looks kind of like pleathery or leather.
Well, they got a little hot in the pleather there. They were in Southern California, so they decided to take a little dip.
Yeah. No, that looks good. I gotta say I'm a little impressed by this. But we got to get back to Miss Marvel. I mean Captain Marvel. I mean Wonder Woman. I mean Captain Marvel. Sorry. Where's my back there?
The internet was pissed about that because she came out and said, "Oh, I hope we don't break the internet," and then radio silence and nothing happened. And everybody was expecting some big monumental, reveal, like a trailer or something, and then nothing.
Yeah, they didn't release a trailer.
No.
And they help another magazine, which we're still doing magazines here, people.
Yep.
I didn't know Entertainment Weekly was still around.
I didn't either.
Yeah, they're my parent company.
Yeah, Marvel does all their releases through Entertainment Weekly for photos and things like that. There was a picture of a very de-aged Samuel L. Jackson too, and he looks, it's supposed to be set in the 90s, and he looks younger, de-aged than he actually did in the 90s. He looks like a baby almost. I mean, it's pretty funny looking.
You have a picture?
I don't have a picture. I didn't post it up there, unfortunately. I came across it like some different sites. I mean, if you just do Samuel Jackson de-aged.
Oh, I have to now.
Yeah, it was just kind of a weird look. That's all. Viking Bitch says, "Hey, now I have resting bitch face too. Let's not judge." Talking about Captain Marvel.
Oh, is that? Yeah, that's what people are saying about her. I thought it was just resting disinterested face. I wouldn't because I bitch face, but I just like.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bitch face either. It looked more like, I'm trying to look stern, but I don't know what that looks like.
I just thought she was bored and disinterested, like she's a teenager texting, like at the dinner table, and her parents are like, "Stop texting." Okay, Dad.
Or she
Fine.
had gas.
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be your hot face? Like when you look pissed off, that's sexy.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, that might be what she's going for.
Is that what the new sexy is? And we were just talking about that. That looks? Yeah. I mean, he definitely looks younger than he did in Do the Right Thing. Yeah, for sure. Which was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with Pulp Fiction when he played Julius. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. He looks. That's for sure. That's for sure, man. For sure. Okay, so I mean. Okay, Random, I know you're not like super into the superhero thing. So is this like even a thing to you? Do you care? Does this make you want to watch Captain Marvel?
Not really. And I got a little triggered by the article, like the title on the article. It said the future is female too. Like seriously, we're still doing this.
Yeah.
And also, I did find out. I'm so not a Marvel movie person. Like I didn't even know until after I was talking about it on a video and a couple of podcasts that not only is the future not female, but this movie doesn't even take place in the future. It takes place in the 90s.
So that's a good point. The future is female because it was the 90s and there's still females in the future. So. I mean, I certainly hope the future is female.
Well, that's where they got their start. Their origin was in the 90s, and now it's going to be in the future.
Well, this is this is how you retcon the MCU, though, and this is how you what they're trying to do is make her the second superhero. She's not the first.
Yeah,
she's going to be the second, and she's going to be the most powerful, which is fine. Captain Marvel is a blank slate. She is a nothing in the comics. And this is somebody I've actually read. I go way back to the 70s when I read Miss Marvel.
Yep.
And I read her ridiculous first origin where she just got blown up basically and turned into a superhero. But that's how we did it back in the 70s. She got blown up. She was a superhero. That's great. And I always thought she was better than Captain Marvel, which turned out to be true because they ended up killing Captain Marvel. Sorry, spoilers. When the death of Captain Marvel, which is Marvel's first graphic novel, which is great. But Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel in the comic books is known for one thing, basically, dying.
Yep.
Well, not dying. Well, almost dying. She, they brought her back, but she gets Rogue, who is an X-Men, and her power is if she touches you, she gets your power, but she also drains if she touches you too long, she can kill you. And she is a villain and has a fight and drains all the powers from Miss Marvel, and that's where she gets her flying powers and stuff, and that's all she was known for. One of the funniest things is one of her names in the Marvel universe is Binary, and
Really?
Yes, Binary.
Oh my god.
Which you could have a lot of fun with these days. We could have Binary fighting her evil twin non-binary or something like that. I don't know. For one, that headline you were talking about there, Random, that's like 3 years ago. I mean, this is like we're still dealing with 2015. It seems like a little bit.
Yeah, it's more of the Ghostbusters stuff too. It's just okay. Seriously, we're still doing this. It works so well for Ghostbusters and Star Wars and yeah.
Mako actually asked, why did they change it from Miss Marvel to Captain Marvel?
Well, because I actually agree with this because they wanted to split the character too, so they could still have a Miss Marvel. And it kind of made sense. She's been around for so long, and it was Captain America who suggested she take the mantle, Captain Marvel. And she was a captain, I guess, in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. So that kind of made sense. And it's not the character I have a problem with, or I don't know. She doesn't look like Captain Marvel at all, like the one from the comic books at all. But fine, she could be great. I mean, we haven't seen it yet. I guess yeah, it's I think we're all worried. I'm going to get to the chat on this one, but there's a lot of people that are worried that this is going to be the first problem with the MCU. I'm going to have a boring take on this, and I trust Kevin Feige. So I don't think we're going to get a bad movie out of this. I think at worst it'll be like an average movie.
It'll be what was it, Thor 2, The Dark World? It'll be a Thor 2 Dark World.
Yeah.
Is what it'll be. It'll just be that filler episode that we need in order to kind of push things along to Avengers 4.
Yeah, because I don't think Kevin Feige is way too smart to do the crap that Star Wars was doing to screw up the MCU, because this is honestly the only thing Disney's making money, but this is the one thing that still has a future. Like Star Wars has no future. I'm sorry. The future is not Star Wars.
No.
And yeah,
no. It's especially since even the animated stuff, they're doubling down on the new trilogy, and it's just like, no, dude, no, don't, just ignore that and move on to your own stuff.
Yeah.
But no,
the costume's okay. I mean, but you put her next to Gal Gadot, and you got to give the win to DC on this one.
Yeah, I have to admit.
And Wonder Woman was a decent movie. Like, it was a decent movie. I'm looking more forward to Wonder Woman 2 than this movie.
I thought it was a good remake of Captain America.
So what?
I'm saying,
rip something off good.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Skrulls look good. The Skrulls kind of give me hope. So that's cool. And Nick Fury being in it, and I heard there's going to be some other fun stuff. So it might be a good. Now, yeah, I'm going to totally withhold major judgment on this one. But if they do what everybody says they're going to do, then going to come down hard.
Yeah. Well, speaking of some good news, everyone know who Timothy Dalton is?
Yep.
Timothy Dalton, one of the James Bonds. He's been cast as Dr. Niles in DC Universe's Doom Patrol.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So Dr. Niles is like Professor X.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say DC's X-Men.
They are DC's X-Men. But I love Doom Patrol. They're weird. Grant Morrison had a great run. That was really weird. They're the X-Men, but even in the DC universe, they've been darker because Dr. Niles is while Professor X has always been played at times like an asshole in the comic books, Niles is a major asshole.
Oh yeah, he's manipulative asshole.
He's Rassilon to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I mean, Greg Berlanti, this guy, it's like, how many shows can he have? And are they all going to be, good quality? It's like every time I turn around, I'm like, oh, Greg Berlanti. Oh, fuck Greg Berlanti. It's like, when is he just when is the well going to dry up?
Because he has nothing creatively to do. Greg Berlanti, if you don't know, is he produces What's Up, Midnight's Edge? How's it going? What's up, Tom? I'm assuming that's Tom. So he produces all the CW shows, which are, I mean, not my favorite. So, but he has nothing secretly. He has nothing. Well, lots of talking. CW shows, they talk about feelings in hallways all the time. That's all they do. So we're gonna get more of that. But he has creatively like zero to do with the shows. So there's a possibility these could be different. I don't think so though.
I don't know. They could be. I mean, Swamp Thing is also produced by him, but James Wan is also has a hand in it as well. So I think that should be fine. Mark Verheiden. Yeah,
that one I have hope for. Those are the two right people for that, and they're going to do it. I mean, Swamp Thing is, and I hope they do a mix of Alan Moore's Swamp Thing with now I'm blanking on his name now. The guy freaking Len Wein created him, but Bernie Wrightson type of Swamp Thing too, like a creepy one. Like, I think that would be fun. Doom Patrol could be great though.
Yeah, and speaking of Swamp Thing, they did actually just cast their Abby Arcane. Yep. Crystal Reed is her name.
And they also cast Liz Tremaine.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I missed that one.
Cast, and her last name is Sten. I'm sorry I didn't get her first name, But yeah, she was cast today because Mark Verheiden dropped that news on Twitter. And I said to him, I said, hey, Mark, I said, keep the news coming. He's like, oh, it's going to be coming. So there's going to be more people.
Got it. Yeah, silhouette animator, excuse me. Crystal Reed played Sophia Falcone on Gotham, which she actually ate up a lot of scenery. I thought was pretty good. Because that's what that show is. It's just people one-upping each other on how much scenery they can chew. But she was actually really good. I liked her. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to her playing Abby Arcane.
Oh, look, Ryan Johnson. I'm in the upper left. That is an incredibly round head.
Kathleen Kennedy's getting an award.
I don't know who actors are anymore. You're mentioning these names. I'm like, who are these people? I don't know who they are.
And there she is. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. Maybe it's. I'm glad because I don't really want to know unless they're really good. It doesn't matter.
I'm old and I don't know who these people are anymore.
Well, yeah.
Well, I looked up the name of the last one, and she looks like she's about 16. And then I feel very old because I'm not 16.
Yes. She probably is 16.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's true, Matthew Davies. What modern actress can compete with Adrienne Barbeau? None.
Not many.
That's not even happening. Not in the same league. Who's the creative team on Doom Patrol?
Berlanti. No.
Oh God.
I'm kidding. I don't know who the creative team is. To tell you the truth.
Gary Dauberman and Mark Verheiden.
Oh, okay. So we got Mark Verheiden again. Yeah.
As long as it's not Akiva Goldsman, I'm fine because he's the one. He's in charge of Titans.
Renee Manceo says they kidnap actors from high school, secondary.
I think they just get sold off, but you're not far off on that one. We're gonna find out in what's the date today, folks? It is the 7th, so in a week, the DC universe starts. I paid my $70-something for the channel, so we can all watch it and tell you what we think. I'm not super excited though. I wish I was.
Wow. All right. Sorry. No, I was just looking something up there. I saw something in the chat and I thought it was something else, but no.
What's next, Dennis?
Sorry. I was, like I said, I thought I saw that Tim Daly had died, but no, that is not the case in the chat there.
Burt Reynolds died though. What did you guys, did you guys like, what did Burt Reynolds mean to you guys? Like anything or?
Yeah. I mean, he was part of my formative years. I watched, Smokey and the Bandit and the Cannonball Run, and I just did a piece at 1428 on Deliverance, and look back at that. While it's not a traditional horror film, it is horrific, and he did give a hell of a performance in it.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before you guys came in. My favorite Burt Reynolds movie was Hooper.
Oh, yeah.
Sandman movie. And I've probably seen it over 120 times easily. This is back in the old days when cable first came out and they had something called Channel 100. It was kind of like HBO at the time. And honestly, they had Hooper on like 3 times a day. So it was always on.
Good choice.
Yeah. And yes, Burt Reynolds in The Longest Yard. And not the shitty remake with Adam Sandler, which he was also in, but the original Longest Yard. Yes. That was what Pickle was talking about. So, and going back to Doom Patrol, we actually got some set pictures too of them in costume. So we've got that up. They popped up on their Twitter feed. And we got Mr. Robot in his, not Mr. Robot, but Robot Man in his costume, which looks pretty interesting.
Popping over there real quick. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm totally excited about it. This is going to be the one superhero team, like, unless you're a hardcore DC fan, you're like, Well, that's not a costume. And yeah, you're not going to know, but this is the one that has the most potential. This and Swamp Thing, you can be helpful for, especially if Verheiden, is that how you say his name? And he did Ash vs Evil Dead season 3.
Yep,
Verheiden and James Wan. James Wan. That's good. That's good news.
Yeah, and I'm also, I mean, anything that Alan Tudyk is on, since he is Mr. Negative in there, he's the villain, and I love Alan Tudyk as a villain. I mean, we don't see it that often, and he's a really good and very fucking scary villain.
Is it Tudyk or Tudyk?
Tudyk.
Tudyk?
I thought it was
Tudyk. I thought it was Tudyk, but Bad Bunny said last week, and Dennis, I think you said this was correct. It's Tudyk.
Yeah. And when he was doing promo stuff for Con Man, he pronounces it Tudyk.
So. Interesting. That's great.
Yeah. So it looks like some really good stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to. And also in popular news, remember we had the popular movie category that was coming up for the Oscars?
Yes.
Yep.
The Academy decided they're going to postpone it. They're going to rethink things.
Well, you know why that is, and I kind of figured this was going to happen. The backlash occurred. Half of the Academy flipped their wigs, and now they're using their spin speak. Well, it created challenges, and we continue to discuss, and we have to do this because of the Academy were divided, and we can't come up with criteria. It's like, Jesus Christ, what do you mean you can't come up with criteria for what the best popular film is? You've got box office. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of set of metrics. It's just a bunch of BS is what it is. And they created dissonance. And now whenever Hollywood creates dissonance, it's like, creative differences, we're going to discuss, and we're doing the olive branch. And I don't think it'll happen.
No, this is award shows trying to be relevant, and they're just done. I did a little video on the not the Grammys, the Emmys, giving Star Trek one, which is long overdue. I mean, like totally deserved and everything, but we know why they're really doing it. And then fucking Kathleen Kennedy gets the same goddamn award like a week later, the governor's award. And like random, you did a great video on that, which I didn't even think about. I'm so stupid, but because I was thinking they put it up there since Star Wars has gotten so much fucking bad news, like as a distraction, but yours was much better.
Oh yeah, well, my theory was basically that that she's probably been in negotiation for a while on her kind of exit deal, because I think they want her out, and I think she doesn't want to leave. So I think she said, "Yeah, give me an Oscar, give me something, give me." And she also stepped down from the board that hands those sort of awards out as well. Like there's like an Oscar, I can't remember the name of it, but she stepped down from that like 2 months ago in July. So. Yeah, I think that might be like a golden parachute part of that, just to kind of give her a great big bonus to leave.
Give me lots of money and kiss my ass, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
You're right, Jody. It's such a silly category for them to bring up in the first place. Come on, it's like some parent trying too hard to be cool and failing epically. Totally. And for one, calling it popular, you're saying that the best picture wasn't popular.
Yeah,
you're like dissing. And then they just extended the best picture to like 10 movies are nominated, and you think, and you can't like. I think it should be an automatic that if a movie makes a certain amount of money, like it should be best picture. If you use a metric of it has to make a certain amount of money and have an average cinema score of B+, which fucking every movie gets nowadays.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that would probably
Michael Bay's
or The Last Jedi would get nominated, but I kind of want The Last Jedi to be nominated for Best Picture in a very sick way. I want it to be, but yeah,
just so Ryan Johnson could be crushed when he loses.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
No, be that close, and he'll be all, "I'll get those guys. I'll win the Best Picture," and then he doesn't get it, and he's all, "Oh."
No, because what he'll do, he'll be an insufferable prick for the next like 50 years, going, well, at least I was nominated.
Yeah.
No, I would love for the best picture, Ryan Johnson, to subvert your expectations. You did not win.
We're gonna give you this Oscar, Rianne, but we're gonna burn it now.
You're right, Midnight's Edge After Dark. The highest grossing movies aren't always the best, but most of the best pictures are not the best either. So
Yeah.
I could agree with like some of the best pictures, and I've even had like cinephiles like try to argue with me like Annie Hall was a better movie than Star Wars. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Annie Hall was not a better movie than Star Wars in any way, shape, or form.
The problem is we're measuring apples against oranges, to use that old chestnut. In a real world situation, you can't expect Star Wars and Annie Hall to even compete. And if you did put those type of movies up, in the Oscars in categories where they really do belong, that Oscar show would probably still be going on a year later.
But they would be remembered though. See, because even when I was a kid, it was obvious Star Wars was and that's what a best picture is to me, is one that's going to stand the test of time and be talked about years later. This is why the awards irrelevant now. I mean, the freaking Dark Knight Returns should have been at least nominated for best picture. It wasn't. And then you lost like basically a lot of the people who watch these award shows were nerds at the time. And you kind of, they got us back when Lord of the Rings won. That was great. But then nothing since then. Zip. So, I mean, Heath Ledger, but that's mostly because he died. I mean, let's be real. If Heath Ledger was alive, do you think he gets nominated?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Titanic, LA Confidential. Thank you for reminding me that, Carrie. Ugh.
Titanic. I'm sorry. If anybody likes that is like the worst movie ever. Great special effects, but horrible acting, directing, and writing. Sorry. Bad.
But that song, Susan.
But no.
That
No.
song.
No.
Oh.
That's
I can hear it now.
Renee Manceo says Star Wars was for children. Come on. I lived through that stuff when it first came out in the theaters, and for that year, there were lines literally around the block.
Yep. For
6 to 8 months. You don't have that kind of thing when it's just children's movies, because it just doesn't have. I remember, and this is going to sound like old people talk, but going through a storm to get to Star Wars, literally in a storm, a woman had her hat filled with water from the amount of rain that was coming down. And this is in San Francisco, to go and see Star Wars, because we were taking a bus out there and all that kind of stuff. And yeah. And yes, it was as bad as The Godfather was a great movie, but did not have the lines that Star Wars did.
Just because it's for kids doesn't mean it's not best picture.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. But I mean, I also don't like Woody Allen, so at all. I mean, I probably would have back then, but knowing what I know now, yeah, Woody Allen isn't for kids.
I didn't like it back then either. I remember seeing it when it came out, and I wasn't a big fan of it. And you're right, Mako. James Cameron hasn't had a bad. Well, he hasn't had a bad movie really. And Titanic, while it's not the greatest movie in the world, it's not badly directed. It's actually fairly competent.
No, his last movie was very bad.
Sorry,
Terrible.
I didn't mean to offend Mako. Sorry, but that's just my opinion.
I actually agree with you. I didn't like Titanic either.
Thanks.
I know it's really an unpopular opinion to not like it, but yeah, it just wasn't that great. It had like a couple of cute little things here and there, but no, it's just not my kind of movie too, I think.
Yeah. I at the time I got caught up in it. I thought I kind of liked it. It's James Cameron. I mean, it's not a badly made movie, but Avatar, that's not a good movie. that's not a good movie.
Avatar is not a good movie.
Movie.
I'm sorry, I obliterated.
I love everything else he's done. I mean, except what I I freaking love True Lies. I love The Abyss. I know a lot of people don't love The Abyss. I love The Abyss.
The Abyss was really good.
It's a fun
You
movie.
just have to have the longer version because the
Yes.
shorter version doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
No.
you're right. You're so right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, same thing like Aliens. The director's cut of Aliens with the extra 20 minutes where you actually see the people on the planet and all that stuff. That's a good movie, a really good movie.
I was
mean,
so excited when that came out.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I was so excited. Yeah.
I had that on Laserdisc back in the day.
But yeah, Carrie Dalton pointed. The reason we were talking about Titanic is that LA Confidential is like one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that movie.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah, so good. The director, I can't remember his name. He died. He just like last year, or was
Milos Forman, right?
no,
No, not really.
no. He's like a really good director, but he's not like a Milos Forman. He's I'll look it up now. Dang it, I hate it when I do that, but you know, for those of us who have live streamed here, we have the live stream brain fart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Midnight's Edge says
Okay.
Aliens actually got some Oscar nods, as I was saying before. Popular stuff yeah, Aliens actually was up for Best Picture. It did get the Best Picture nomination, but did not win the award, of course.
No, they used to nominate shit more back then. But no, I mean, I'll say Chariots of Fire over Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, I know that happened when I was like 10, and I have not gotten over it. That's what makes me a nerd.
I'm still mad
Yeah.
at Jeff Tull won over Metallica on the first heavy metal Grammy. Like that was what 30 years ago now. Like all these awards. shows
Yeah,
are
thanks for
kinda-
bringing that up again. Yeah, what the hell?
They all do that though. I think they're all kind of
I love
irrelevant.
what Jeff the band said. I forget the lead singer's name. He even remarked on it like, we're not really metal, but we'll take the Grammy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Renee Monseo says Tartakovsky and Sokurov. Now that's film. Yeah, if you want to get into the long-haired Gabli, I went to film classes as well.
So did
And
I.
argued all of those things, and yeah, there's film and cinema and movies and all that kind of stuff. If you really want to get snooty about it, but yeah,
Hey, I like
it's like art.
it is the indie stuff. I love. We're just not going to see it in theaters that much anymore. It's going to probably just end up going to YouTube, or a lot of people are going to start making their own stuff, which is I think we're going to get a lot of cool stuff we're going to get a lot of really creative stuff from people doing it on their own. I look forward to that when people start making more movies for YouTube, and just, for one, you almost have a better chance of making more. You did a couple of years ago, but if you're clever enough, you can make a movie on your own. A lot of student films can make the movie on there, get a few views on YouTube, get some eyes on it. It'd be better than like competing in a festival,
Oh, yeah.
That actually kind of leads me into one of our other stories, is that David Cronenberg is developing a TV series.
Yep.
And the reason why is he says, you can do a lot more creative stuff on TV. And he even says that the opportunities are greater on TV right now than they are in movies. And you can...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Cronenberg has also come out, and when he said this, there were like collective gasps. He's like, movies are dying.
Mhm.
What we used to know is gone. Movies are dying, and just like you said, Dennis, that's why he's throwing his hat into the arena with television, and he's really no stranger to that medium.
No, he's not. He's directed episodes here and there of different things, so he knows what he's doing. It's not like, and I love one of my favorite movies of his that doesn't get any love because it came out the same time The Matrix did, actually the exact same week as The Matrix, was Existence.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a totally messed up movie. Completely messed up movie with Jude Law and Jennifer Jason Leigh. And again, it deals with, what is reality kind of thing. And it's a completely messed up movie, but also has some of the Cronenberg horror stuff in it. And yeah, it's great movie. If you've never seen it, go and see it. Came out the exact same week that The Matrix came out, and just disappeared. But
Midnight's Edge makes a good point about the Oscars. I completely he said Rob and I traced it back in the 90s. Weinstein started buying up all the Oscars, and it hasn't been the same since. Most of the winners are Miramax movies or indies with huge campaigns. Yeah, and I think that's what killed it. I think that's what killed it because the general public wasn't watching a lot of those movies, and it's arguable. Like the general public isn't what you want to base it on, and you want to definitely keep the Academy Awards based on people voting for it who do know about it. But when they were started selling out on us, and that's when the interest was lost. I mean, the ratings say it all about the Academy Awards, and there's still plenty of room for artistic cinema. I love it. Listen, for I just saw in here like True Cinema is I lost it there, but for me, it's like it's Blue Velvet, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's cinema, or yeah. But
I hope that Cronenberg finds a good home because he's known for horror, and horror's not popular on television right now. And I hope he gets someplace that lets him have creative control, unrestricted content, and allows the series to take flight.
American Horror Story's doing very well right now on FX.
And Castle Rock's doing pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
But I think that's well, no, I think that's that's a different type of horror though. So there's tons of different horror. So like slasher, like Ash vs. Evil Dead horror. No, I don't think people are going to watch that right now. Creepy stuff. It's and Castle Rock is basically a ripoff of American Horror Story, but it's good. It's damn good. And I got to give credit to Marcus Kahn. True Cinema is Repo Man. Yes.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, Susan, while you were talking.
Oh, no, that's okay. Now, all I was going to say, I just said, American Horror Story is doing well, and that trailer is like batshit crazy, but in a good way, very good way. But and Castle Rock, that's doing well too. The real test will be for Castle Rock is how's it going to do in the second season.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
And Marcus Kahn brings up a good thing is that Cronenberg is all flesh tech. He does like pulling, and Carrie Dalton also says he loves pulling stuff out of people's bodies. He really does. Existence has how can I say this? It's these little fleshy pods that plug into people's central nervous system to play a game.
Ew, yeah.
Yeah, and that you're supposed to get plugged into this alternate reality. It's really disgusting looking. And I mean, he has a goo and all that.
He's made some shitty movies too.
Yeah,
I love Cronenberg, but he's made some.
Oh yeah,
Crash was terrible.
And he even admits it though too that he's made some shitty movies, which I like about him. He's like, yeah, well, it didn't work. So, and he moves on. He doesn't dwell on it, which I like about that. So I think he's kind of more like a working director than anything else. He likes just getting stuff done.
I love some. Yeah, he's old school too.
Yeah,
love that.
Fucking Dead Zone. That's good shit.
Oh yep.
Tom says, "Shit is called Oscar bait." Yep, it's called. Used to be popular movies with huge productions. At least got noticed alongside great and small personal stories. And I think it swung that way for a reason because it kind of kept the movie star around, Tom, and like the movie star is gone. I mean, Tom Cruise, who random, like who would you off top of your head, like who's a big movie star?
Maybe Tom Hardy might be pretty big. I mean, but most of the time, and I think Tom brought this up on a podcast, that most of the time these like it's the franchise that's really popular and they can just cast pretty much anybody, and that's why they we get so many remakes and reboots of the same, like how many Spider-Man have we had? It's because the franchise is the star, like it's the Marvel movie that's the star.
Yeah. If we didn't have Marvel movies right now, it'd be terrible. Or maybe they are just sucking the life out of everything like Hollywood says. I don't know. kind of a mantra from our very first podcast, Random and Susan, was we don't even want to cover movies anymore. We really don't. We don't review movies that much. TV kind of seemed to be more interesting to us. Now I know it takes a lot more time. Believe me, I've found this out because I've never watched this much TV in my life ever. But it's better storytelling right now, just by far. Like
It is.
With Castle Rock, holy shit.
There used to be a huge stigma attached for celebrities to do television. It was like that was their stop before they died and then did the con circuit. But now it's like everybody prestigious. I mean, years ago, Sissy Spacek, we would have never seen her on television. Now she does that, and she does it very well because the writing is there. Let's face it. Television has the writing right now. They have the talent. Hollywood, on the other hand, it is what it is. And that's not to take away from entertainment. I mean, you can be really entertained at every Marvel movie, and it doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It's just the writing is a little more personal and a little more intimate when you're talking about the smaller screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have a lot longer to tell a story too on television. The movie, you have to kind of rush it through in like an hour.
Hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And movies aren't free to do anything. They are marketed to hell now. And we were lost are the days where somebody would throw money at you and go, like right now that's Netflix. So, and Netflix is throwing out so much stuff I can't keep up. There might be a good movie that they put out that I completely missed. I think there's a couple. Our chat's great at suggesting stuff that I have zero time for, but that's why I have my notes. I keep a little note when I have my little suggestions from the chat that I try to write down and keep up on. And Netflix has got all this investor money to burn right now. Not unlike the company I work for. But speaking of burning, Elon, did you hear what he did?
Yeah, he smoked pot on Joe Rogan's show
podcast. Yeah.
What? Whoa.
Yeah.
He burned.
It was pot mixed with tobacco, and he says, "Oh, I normally, I never partake," kind of thing. And he smoked, and then he started spilling all these, things about, the stocks and things like that.
Blaze on, Elon.
Blaze on, Elon. Yeah, I gotta watch that now. But
and it's pot. Like Midnight's Edge says, big deal. He smoked pot.
Oh,
I think the same thing.
They're talking about taking away his security clearance, though.
Seriously? For that?
Yeah, because you're not supposed to be just because it's legal doesn't mean you can be. I think they're being petty. I'm not sure if they will. He's not doing day-to-day operations. I totally disagree with it, but that's what I heard. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I wouldn't put. He's in direct competition with the government, even though they're working together. Because our SpaceX is completely kicked NASA's ass in every way. But sorry, but Elon's the man. Elon's the man. Just I try not to. I'm not Mr. Cult of personality. I like it. I like what he does. Sometimes he does some stupid shit, makes it hard for us to work, but for the most part, I love him.
Yeah, and Ed Burrow, we were talking about Elon Musk. That's who we were talking about. So, just to catch you up on that.
Sorry, there's something outside my window. I'm like, what the fuck? See something going down on the show tonight.
Is it Elon? Is he watching you?
It's Elon. He's watching me.
He might be. Well, you know what? If movies aren't your thing, you can always go hit up the Broadway musicals, and starting in March 2019.
That is really not my thing.
Stop.
I was a bad segue, but hey, I
was
work
pretty good actually. I liked it. Sorry. Didn't mean to step all over it.
Beetlejuice the musical is coming to Broadway in March 2019.
God, now, oh God, it's triggering me now. It's like now Broadway can't figure out what to do. I mean, they had an original thing with Hamilton, and that's done now. So we're just going to go cannibalize Hollywood, put shit on that really isn't going to work. And yeah, I know, Little Shop of Horrors, that worked, but Beetlejuice
Well, it started.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't see how it's gonna work without being cheesy. I seriously don't know. But that might be the charm. But oh god.
Yeah, it might be an intentionally cheesy, fun
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of thing. Because
Yeah.
sometimes these Broadway musicals don't like when they adapt them. I know that sometimes they're really popular. Like I like Hairspray. It was originally just a movie that had a lot of music in it, and then they turned it into the Broadway musical, and then the movie. So, I mean, it's not like a super new thing. But
No.
No.
Wasn't Hairspray again a stage show that got turned into a movie that now went back to a Broadway show?
No.
I think
It was
so.
originally
I thought-
John Waters' movie.
John Waters movie
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, and then-
Okay, it was originally John Waters' movie. Okay.
And it was, they were both good, to be honest with you. Saw them both. No, I like some plays. Like I saw where you are now in La Jolla. Pete Townsend wrote Tommy, the Who's Tommy. That play
yeah.
at the La Jolla Playhouse, and we got to see some of the test shows for that. That was fucking awesome.
Nice.
With Pete Townsend there. Yeah, that was rad. This could be good if the Tom suggested if the movie music's by Oingo Boingo. Yeah. If we can get them back together.
Hey, Rene Monseo, Harry Belafonte is still alive, so yes, you could always bring him in too.
Yeah. He probably could still sing too.
No, he's near 90, so he was just
One of those
recently.
guys who's always like not super old. He's just always looked old my entire life. But
no, he looked really. He was in a movie recently, and he.
Well, he's
he looked
freaking
pretty
90. Yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Okay, yeah, that's a exception. But Teresa 77 says theaters is supposed to bring the audience together. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Is this really a new thing? No, it is definitely not a new thing. Rocky Horror Picture Show was my life for so long. Mecca, are you a fan of Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I watched it a million times when I was like 12. So yeah, I was way too young to watch it. I remember having this was back when like the VHS copies were like $90 to own. And I remember being so proud to find a copy used that had like the opening documentary was a little chewed up, but as long as you fast forwarded that past that, the thing worked great. It was a used copy that they had sold because it was chewed up a little bit. And it was like super cheap, and I was the only person who had it, and I was super proud of that. So yeah,
That's awesome. I remember those days.
yeah.
$99. Happy to pay it to have Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I got mine for I think it was $89.99. That's
Hey,
right.
do you remember? Now this wasn't the first, but this is the first one I remember being like $20. Was Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. I remember that being the first cheap one you could buy.
See, I don't remember. I don't think I got. When I went from VHS to Laserdisc, and then the Laserdiscs were around $40 a pop. I remember.
And it just never caught on. They were so well. They weren't that much better, but I liked the. Holy shit! Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that? Did you have like some stuff fall?
That was probably a dog getting into some trouble. That sounded like a dog climbing up on the table, knocking some shit down. Logan can handle it.
Sorry, Scott. $400 for a VCR. Hey, I remember $1,000 for a Laserdisc player. Yeah, that was back in the day because that was state of the art. Woohoo!
I remember VHS being 1,000 and Laserdiscs. I had a used Laserdisc player that was $300 used.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was the best clarity you could get in the time. You know, it was a lot better than VHS. Of course, now it's nowhere near, what DVDs and Blu-rays are, but still.
Yeah. Well, you used to even have commentary, right, on the Laserdisc?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite commentaries to this day is from The Thing with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. Mm-hmm. And they're both drunk. They're basically just getting drunk and talking about the movie. And they're at one point they just diverge from the movie and just start talking shit to each other. And it's probably one of the best commentaries you'll ever hear. And they made it to the when they did the re-release to Blu-ray for the thing. I think it was like the 20th or the 30th anniversary of it. They transported that commentary as well over, and it's worth it. Oh, it's totally worth it.
Were they just drinking on air?
Because you never see them. They're actually talking over the movie. Because there's another track in the movie you can actually listen to it. And those are the kind of that's how they used to do the commentaries on the Laserdisc. So you just activated the commentary and the director's commentary, and it would normally have the actors in there too, and you can hear them drinking because you can hear the glasses clinking and things like that. Yeah.
What commentary is this?
The commentary for The Thing with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good deal. This is for you, Carrie Dalton. Yeah, I can scare any home invaders away with my Doomcock picture. Yes,
I have mine framed too.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Carrie Dalton says one of my favorite commentaries was on GoldenEye. It was Peter Lamont and Martin Campbell, and really talking about the little things in making the movie. Yeah. Ben
Affleck is rumored to be drunk in the Criterion commentary for Armageddon. Midnight's Edge, Mallrats has the best fucking commentary because it's Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck. I'm sure you know this. This guy's like, what am I telling Tom this shit for? He knows it. And Matt Damon like talking shit about each other. Like, they stop talking about the jokes. Movie. Yeah.
Doug.
Ghostbusters one's great too. The MST3K Ghostbusters one.
Yeah, official Dougie J also reminded me of the Carpenter and Russell commentary on Big Trouble in Little China. They're just talking about their kids, travel, and they don't even talk about the movie really at all. And again, they're drinking. I think they just did this kind of back to back to back. They're like, all right, we're just going to do this. And they just had a bottle of whiskey sitting there and just started drinking. And
the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much.
The best commentaries are that I've ever heard were on the Stargate Atlantis box sets. When you have like Peter DeLuise and Gary Jones basically riffing their entire episode. Those are some of the best commentaries I've ever heard.
That's brilliant. So I'm going to get in trouble. I have not seen a single episode of Stargate.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's very good, but
it's really good.
It takes commitment because you got 10 seasons of SG-1 and then 5 seasons of Atlantis and then 2 of Universe. Yeah. It's a time sink.
Yeah. The first season was on Showtime. So it started off on Showtime. So there's nudity. There's actual nudity and whatnot in there. And then it did something weird. I forget where it moved to after like season 3. I want to say it was sci-fi, but I think they moved someplace else before that. And it's actually a lot of fun. And they make fun of there's a lot of Wizard of Oz references throughout all the episodes, all the seasons. And they even make fun of MacGyver as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just lost the sub. Really? Sorry, Von Champ. He said, oh my God, unsubscribe, debuild. It's not that I didn't have time. I saw like a bunch of startings to episode because it was on after Battlestar Galactica. So,
Yeah.
Artemis over Easy says, my father knew a guy in quotation marks and was able to secure our first VHS. Watch Superman the movie and Jaws for our first VHS experience sometime in the early 80s. VHS. Speaking of Superman, we keep talking about Superman the movie. November 25th, they're going to re-release it in theaters for the 40th anniversary. It's out there on Fandango, I believe, is where you can find out what movie times or if it's showing near you.
$4.99 super chat. Thank you, Movie Finobi. Happy
you.
Friday, Gary Dennis. Susan, driving from work, can't type. Listen, 1-900-Finobi because Susan's too busy with her new jobs. Hi, Viking bitch and pen. Thank you, Movie Finobi, for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate that. That rocks.
Polly Simeon says MacGyver made it a no watch for me. He's actually really good in it. Richard Dean Anderson.
Oh yeah.
He's actually pretty hilarious in it. And does a great. I think one of my favorite episodes, and all sci-fi TV shows do this at one point or another, where you have the time loop.
Oh yeah.
Things happen over and over again. Groundhog Day, and all the different montages of just them wasting time because they don't know how to get out of the time loop. and they've got the Stargate activated, and they're shooting golf balls into the Stargate.
Yeah.
That's all
The
they're doing.
episode's window of opportunity. And yeah, they just kind of lose interest because they have to learn an ancient language. Like the two people who don't speak the language have to learn it from the one who does, and they just kind of get tired of it after a while, and they do all kinds of things. They quit. They and they kind of show very hilarious scenes. Like the one guy gets hit in the door, or in the face with the door every single day, and then one day he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna shove back, and he ends up knocking the guy on his ass. It's really hilarious.
Official Dougie J says Arnold and John Milius's commentary on Conan is amazing. There's so much testosterone on the track. Semen comes out of the DVD player. It spunks on you.
Man.
Well, okay. Do I want to watch that? I don't think I really want to.
I don't know. I'm scared now.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I have that too, because I have the director's cut of Conan, which has like an extra 5 minutes of footage, which really doesn't help it at all. I mean, it's a great movie. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites, but the extra 5 minutes doesn't
Did you notice
add
it?
anything.
Hellboy commentary is awesome. Yes, Guillermo del Toro does do very good commentaries. I met that guy. He is super cool. Super cool, dude. I wish he would just finish a damn movie. I wish he would stay on a project and finish a movie.
Yeah, I know, really. Carrie Dalton, Sanctuary. I tried watching it and I couldn't do it. I really did. Carrie Dalton says the Stargate talk reminded me of another syndicated sci-fi show, Sanctuary. Any watchers out there?
I watched the first few seasons. It kind of lost me once it went full Bollywood musical, but it was. Yeah, it literally did. The premise was you kind of have monsters and things that all kind of need a sanctuary. They need a safe house.
Yeah.
And the same actress from Stargate is playing the lead in this, only
Amanda
she has
Tapping,
the British accent. And it was really, really interesting. The main character, you have to kind of solve crime, or he had to solve crimes and basically end up, they would bring the monsters and the abnormals into into the sanctuary, or they would go on the run, or they would be murdered or whatever. Yeah, and there's it was a whole crime show. It was very much inspired by kind of darker comic books, but yeah, it got really weird towards the end.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Ken Jack Ben. I couldn't stand Amanda Tapping's horrible British accent either on the show. That's kind of what turned me off on it, because it sounded like this, Governor, like I was doing a really bad British accent, but I didn't know exactly what I was. And I was the entire season, and I was just going, "Son of a bitch! Can someone stop her?"
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it was just, for me, it was like grating on nails on a chalkboard. And I was trying to watch it, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't.
Sanctuary. Well, I'm like trying to. Have I seen this? It sounds so familiar.
Well, they have
Probably
a
is on
giant.
Sci-Fi.
It was like a werewolf who, or a guy who's like their tech support guy, and he turns into a werewolf. They have like a giant Sasquatch that lived there, and he was kind of a caretaker, like a butler.
Yes. Okay. I did
Jack the
watch a
Ripper.
couple of these. Yeah.
It was really interesting. I mean, I love the actors. I love Ryan Robbins, who was in like all of the Canada shows back from everything from Stargate to Battlestar Galactica. He was a very kind of bit player. And then they have Chris Heyerdahl, who is also another one of these bit players. He's in Stargate Atlantis as Todd the Wraith. They have all of these awesome actors, but the show just did not add up to anything that great. And it really was disappointing, because I really wanted to like it. But they literally had a scene where they did a full-on Bollywood musical number, and that was kind of
That was it, huh?
You know, there was a short-lived TV series called The Neighbors about aliens in a community, like a gated community.
On ABC.
I'd been there, on ABC. And God, now I can't remember her name. She was on Square Pegs with Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker. When they were kids, and now she's grown up and she's supposed to be a mom on the show. And there was a great episode about Bollywood that they did, and they did the whole episode as a Bollywood episode, which is really funny. And the dance that they were doing was screw in the light bulb, pet the dog, screw in the light bulb, pet the dog. That's how you dance how you do the dance. And I was like almost peeing my pants laughing because you have everyone doing it, and it actually is the Bollywood dance. It's screw in the light bulb, pet the dog, you know, and it works.
Oh,
Did it make you wee wee?
It did. I had to put on my rubber pants.
My rubber
rubbers.
pants.
It's the Venture Brothers, by the way, since I know you were here. It was tonight's episode of the Venture Brothers.
Where did Bruce Campbell tweet your tweet?
I'm sorry, I didn't put it in there. That's why I wasn't going to talk about it, since I didn't put the link in there. Essentially what happened was I had posted a picture of the Army of Darkness Ash doll that I saw over at Target that I posted on Facebook there. And I tweeted to him and I just asked him, I'm like, is it still weird for you to see yourself in toy form? And I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think I was going to get any response back. And he actually retweeted it and said, no, not really, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't be tired of it. I know he's not tired.
I just asked if he was weirded out by it. If
No,
it's still
no,
weird
I know,
or not
I know,
anymore.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Of course not. For one, royalties. He's not weirded out at all.
Oh yeah.
It's like he sees that, he's all check. Nice. Get some
Ka-ching.
cheddar.
I gotta buy that whole thing.
Yeah, I know. I sent you the link over there.
I know, he's haunting me. Like, people just send him to me. I'm like, okay, guess I gotta get you now. I gotta buy you.
I get that Ash puppet.
Yeah, that too.
Yes, Ashy Slashy.
Ashy Swashy. I'm getting very bad at buying stuff while we're on the Friday night podcast. Like, we'll be chatting, I'll be out, oh, I gotta get that, and go into Amazon and I'll buy something.
Well, they have the possessed Ashy Slashy now.
Yeah, I saw that too. I want the possessed one myself.
Yeah.
Possessed one's really funny. Speaking of funny, so Ryan Reynolds and Michael Bay, they had gotten together for a series on Netflix called Six Underground. And for some reason or another, there was a rumor that got thrown out there that this Six Underground series was actually going to be a live action Thundercats series with Ryan Reynolds as Lion-O. And one of the directors of one of the episodes, Rhett Reese, just went on Twitter and said no in response to it.
Ryan's response was funny. He's like, I don't know why people think that. I mean, Six Underground takes place in Abu Dhabi, and he named all these other exotic locales, and then at the very end he slips in Thundera.
Where did that come from? I was reading what you wrote. It made no sense. I'm like, what the fuck? They're thinking about making a movie and go due to what the.
So it was Six Underground was the name of the series, and
so people think it was going to be a Thundercats one.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be a live action Thundercats. That it was secretly a live action Thundercats series, and it's like, oh, where did you get that from? It was just really weird that they thought that's what it was going to be, and so there's place over in the UK decided to run with the story, and they posited it out there onto Twitter, and one of the directors just came back and was like, no, just simply no to Slash Film. They had brought it back to them and said no, not happening. And then Ryan Reynolds got involved and decided to do what he does best and make fun of it.
Okay. Well, it would still be better than that dumb Thundercats cartoon that's coming out.
Come on, it's gonna be brilliant.
Okay. So we're gonna get the origin story of John McClane. So we're gonna see John McClane's parents fucking. Is that what we're gonna see? Just like his parents having sex and him being born, because that would be his origin.
Yeah, all I know is that it's called McClane, which when I heard it made me start laughing because I thought of the Simpsons McBain series.
Yep. Well, I know I wrote about for Heroic Hollywood, and basically this is what's happening. It's going to be him, Bruce Willis at 60, and his 20-something counterpart. And I don't know how they're going to interweave the two stories together, but people were upset because they're like, man, Die Hard without Bruce, we don't want to see it, But the production people are like, nope, he's in it. trust in that, and there's not much that's known about it right now.
Oh, trust Hollywood. Okay, we'll trust you.
Yeah.
We'll trust you. This is so what the Picard series is going to be too.
Yeah.
It's going to be him going, I remember when, and then we're going to see Picard in the Academy.
Thank you, Johnny Pappas, for the $2.01. Kettle corn popcorn lung is sweet and salty.
Dude, I don't know what we've done to get that extra 2 cents, but I am grateful, Johnny Pappas. Appreciate it. Right on. Oh, yes, McLean's origin. That's so goddamn dumb. Really out of ideas.
I'm going to actually go out on a limb here and predict that once it comes out, it's going to be redubbed McLame.
McLame. McLean is McLame.
Worst movie ever.
I think the new policy in Hollywood now is we're gonna, instead of optioning movies, they just put out articles like this going, hey, let's try this. And actually it's kind of smart. I would put this out there and see which way the wind blows. Nobody's gonna watch it. If Bruce Willis was in the whole damn movie, nobody would watch it.
Yeah,
we already had a ton of these, and we already had one with the son, and this isn't a franchise. It's a Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah, Renee Manceo says the Hans Gruber story would be more interesting. Like
yes,
Hans Gruber.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not? Why can't they do that? I mean, well, who would play young Alan Rickman, though?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, he's not young.
No. You'd have to get some British actor in his 20s. And frankly, trying to play Alan Rickman, you have big shoes to fill.
Yeah. Tom says, who gives a shit about Detective McClane? He's supposed to be a schlub with an impossible situation in Die Hard. So we get to see him handing out parking tickets. Right. There's nothing exciting about him. That was the cool. You're right. That was the cool part about the movie, is like he was just an everyman in there. So we would have to see his everymanness. He wasn't, a superhero. Christ's sake.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't buy that stuff, people.
Yeah. Support new stuff. New stuff. For example, Mega City 1, the TV series that was supposed to be about Judge Dredd, is now going to revolve around young judges. And Dredd is going to come in every now and then, basically, as part of the story. And Carl Urban, of course, is very busy right now filming The Boys, because he is now a cast member of The Boys.
Yep.
So he now said what's going to happen is when Dredd is a logical part of the story and has a good meaty chunk of story, he's going to come in.
Dredd is the story.
Yeah, I know.
The logical part of the story. This sounds terrible. I mean, like, I love the movie, but yeah, that's not, yeah.
And I think they're just trying to make some lemonade out of the lemons that they've gotten now that he's signed on with somebody else. Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say that was another thing I had to do, look at the end of that. Urban's saying all the right things. He's saying, if there's a good script, I'll be a part of it. And the earliest this will happen, maybe next year, but chances are it's going to be later.
Yeah.
And it may not even happen.
That's a bummer.
And honestly, Dredd is about the insane stuff that happens in Mega City 1. So Judge Death, you actually have a nuclear war that happens and wipes out one of the mega cities. That kind of stuff. It's all kinds of shit. That's weird stuff that goes on. You have time travel that's involved, and you can't do this with just some random young judges. It's just not going to work.
Doug says McLean Die Hard, or no, Han's Die Hard story.
Official Dougie J also says Murphy, a RoboCop story.
I guess I'm getting weary too of the mentor stories, where we've got the old grizzled vet that has to, instruct the youngins, and that's becoming tired too.
Sorry, I'm laughing about this because that was tonight's Venture Brothers. It's about mentoring, mentoring a lower level villain. So yeah, 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 a level 1 villain getting mentored, and they actually have T-shirts that they're going to sell, which we're buying. And what was it again, Gary? What was the name of the shirt? I forgot what it was.
Oh, it says big villain. It's big villain mentoring a little villain.
Yeah, it's kind of like Big Brothers, but it says big villains, and so you got a big outline of a villain holding the hand of a smaller villain, and then underneath it says mentoring smaller evil.
I'm looking for the.
It's not going to be up till Monday. Yeah, right now they're going to have last week's shirt on there. It's astrobasego.com.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually going to be one of those things I want to get because it's just.
I sometimes wonder if like the older celebrities, that's their way to get back into the new Hollywood, is to redo those parts. So but Bruce Willis doesn't need it. He is relevant. He's doing Glass. Glass has huge buzz.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to do that. But some of these origin stories, I just sit there and think, did these people develop it as a way to say, hey, I'm still relevant, New Hollywood, and then the only thing that we can do is make you a mentor at this point? I don't know.
They don't know either. That's what's driving all this. They have no idea. They're so lost. They're too busy attacking fans and
So they don't want to do anything new because new is evil and scary to them. They want to do whatever made money beforehand, and they go, well, this made money, so if we pump out more shit that's exactly like this, but a little bit different, we'll just change this or we'll change that. Then we should make money in perpetuity. Perpetuity. There we go. I knew I could say that word.
Or we'll switch things around, like what they're doing with Party of Five now. And, just never going to end.
Yeah. It ends when it ends. That's the if there's a comedy gene, I think Canadians are born with it. I don't know. There's a blaming gene. I'm going to blame Canada. Ken Jack Ben.
There's even a song about that.
There is. By Americans. No, I'm just kidding.
Sung by Canadians.
It's what we've been talking. It's the transition. Hollywood is transitioning, and not in a good way. They're going to have to work now. We're interrupting their freaking Coke parties, and they're going to have to actually work and interact with fans. It's part of the job, and that's what's scaring the crap out of them right now. And it's. I think it's affecting everything. Hollywood is scared right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared of a couple things. The Me Too thing hit them out of left field, and they weren't ready for that. And also this, everything transitioning up to Silicon Valley, they've known about that for years. And they've done nothing. Movie theaters are going to start dying any minute now. I mean, you'll hear some chain will die soon because they're expensive. I mean, the rents and those are insane. But they're. I mean, it's not like TV or movies are going to go away. It's changing. And like you said, change is scary.
Exactly. And speaking of change, well, I just had no way of actually segueing into that one, so it was a bad segue anyway. Henry Cavill is going to play Geralt in Netflix's adaptation of The Witcher. Live action.
Everybody is losing their minds on the internet. The internet is so pumped for this. It's like everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I mean, I don't know. Mecca, what do you know about Witcher? I don't know much about Witcher.
The Witcher is it's kind of like a medieval sort of fantasy video game that it is set. The Witcher, basically, he does potions and sort of spells, but you can play as him, and there's a lot of like hand-to-hand combat. He takes a lot of potions to heal, that sort of thing. And he's probably the least interesting character in the game. He's very much he's very much like a straight man to all the interesting things and interesting characters around him, and it's one of those sort of action adventure role play game quest sort of things. It's a single player sort of open world, pretty much open world, and yeah, actually I think maybe Henry Cavill is probably okay to play him because he's kind of a I'm trying to find the right word without sounding insulting, but maybe
Straight
kind
man?
of a straight man, he's not like a very overly charismatic, witty sort of person, but still being charismatic enough to attract like a harem of women or be the person to go on these quests. This is the person who will save us. So yeah, it might work.
Henry Cavill looks like a man.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't cast some 20-year-old, 160-pound dude. Henry Cavill's a man.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he's very. You could say what you need to say, random. It's totally cool. Yeah, he's a boring actor. He doesn't have a lot of range. He's still a good Superman. Superman doesn't need to have a ton of range. And I guess, is it Geralt? Is that how you say it?
Geralt.
Geralt.
Geralt. Okay. And what did it say? It's Polish Game of Thrones with monsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Cool.
want to say thank you to T Tomcat for the $5. As I end up giving more to you guys through Super Chat. Thanks. Donate through Patreon. Interesting chat tonight. You guys are talking about everything. Yeah, our Friday night chats, we talk about anything and everything here. We also grab stuff from you guys out in the chat as well. So it's one of the ways to interact with us on Fridays. So come on by next week as well.
If we see Burnfred Axe Wielder in here, then we'll talk about. He asked me to talk about this ass. There's a thing called ass from Australia. It's some measure that's going to be. It's basically backdooring. Government will be able to get access apps whenever they want, and get your information whenever they want. And I guess it's kind of a thing. So I looked it up a little bit today, did a little research, but I was going to kind of wait for him to get in here to get on that.
Well, speaking of The Witcher, there's also a series of books called the Witchland series. And those books are going to be made into a live-action TV series by the Jim Henson Company, of all places. Kind of a weird one. So I'm not familiar too much with the Witchland series of books, but I guess it's about a bunch of witches on a land.
It looks like a tweener series, like,
it is, yeah.
like a YA thing that the CW is trying to get that demo. And I mean, for me, it doesn't look interesting. It might be compelling to somebody else. I don't know how it'll market though.
Yeah, it's skewing younger than us old folks.
Yeah.
Than us old people. Yeah.
Right. Get off my lawn.
Matlock. Where's my Matlock?
Matlock. Okay, yeah, it's called Ass Access. That's the name of it. The acronym for it is ASS.
Holy shit. John T. Net gave us $100 Hong Kong. Thanks for the great show so far. Very informative. Gotta go, but we'll rewatch later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And definitely come by next Friday.
We see John in Doomcock and with Random.
Yeah, he's also got a little Doomcock logo there, icon.
Yes.
Doomcock holding Harvey. Hail John Tennant.
Hail John Tennant. Hail. Hey, we got a video from our liege, which was great, by the way. That was a really, really good video about the last betrayal of Luke Skywalker. Please go check it out.
Oh. So Von Shapam, hopefully I said that right, said The Witcher was originally known as the Hexer in the original Polish books. The game popularized Witcher as the translation. I thought it came from original books to begin with, and there we go.
Cyberpunk 2077 is fantastic, says Mako. I've heard.
Yeah.
I gotta get that Spider-Man game that people are talking about.
So
Yes,
good that you talked about that. I picked that up last night and I've been playing it. I played it last night, I should say, when I picked it up. And for for those of you out there, I'm not a huge gamer. I've got 1 or 2 games that I play every now and then. Batman Arkham, was an awesome game. This is Batman Arkham for Spider-Man. That's what this is.
Did you know that this is the first Marvel-themed game to get the seal of approval from Marvel?
Nice.
Yep. And that's why you'll see their flipboard logo. So just, watch that when you see it. That's the seal of approval.
Yeah, no, it's really a lot of fun. I mean, and honestly, swinging through the city, because you have to swing through everything, and it's awesome. So those of you out there who aren't really interested in a lot of video games, but like playing Spider-Man, sorry, Renee Munsea, I didn't play Spider-Man Dimensions. I know Gary did and loved it. So
hell yeah.
But
Shattered Dimensions and was it the Time one? The other one. Loved them both to death.
Yeah. This one's a lot of fun. I mean, you can do costume upgrades, and you also get different skill sets and all that kind of stuff as you go through. And then, of course, there's different things to find out there. You have side missions and different people that you run into. And J. Jonah Jameson is a podcaster now, because he no longer works the Daily Planet. And it's kind of funny. He's got like a Rush Limbaugh kind of podcast going on. And every now and then it comes through your through your earphones, because your suit is all high tech. And it's pretty funny. So you have to listen to that as you're swinging through the city. But
that's brilliant. That's more relevant than being in a freaking newspaper anyway.
Yeah.
Good for J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. Well, they still have the newspaper too. So Robbie Thompson runs the newspaper, and
I figured that.
Yeah. It's really good. It's actually a really good and well put together. They put a lot of thought into it. So lots of fun.
I didn't. Midnight's Edge says, speaking of Marvel flipboards, anyone else notice Deadpool's 2 flipboard had a lot of pictures of butts? I did not, but I'm going to look now.
Yeah, I got to look at it. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Ken Jack Ben asked about the tattoo on my hand. I've got a couple, but that's Seal of Rassilon from Doctor Who. And this is from Boondock Saints, because I love that movie. And then I've got my wife's name on one hand, which everybody says it's a jinx. I'm like, I've known her for like almost 40 years. She ain't going nowhere. She wish I would, but nah. Yeah, that's the tattoos.
I'm waiting for her to pop her head in the door there and just say something.
She probably heard that. She'll tell me about it later. I think she barely knows. She's been on the show, but she does not listen ever. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with good reason.
Oh yeah, of course. She hears me all fucking day.
Yep. So we also have Stargirl is being done also by DC Universe as a live action series. And they just announced that they're going to have a reimagined version of both the JSA and her robot sidekick Stripe.
I was going to say, is Stargirl going to be a man? Is it going to be Starman?
No. It's going to be Stargirl.
So what are they reimagining?
I think they're just kind of updating them a little bit for the modern times for the JSA, and also
because Stargirl's been reimagined like 100
times. Yeah, exactly.
Like whatever.
So they're gonna do the same thing again. That's all they're gonna do. They're just gonna update it a little bit for the live action stuff.
Which is gonna be on DC Universe.
DC Universe, yes. Yeah. That is DC. And guess who it's being produced by?
Greg Berlanti. He's doing every show there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What?
Just Greg Berlanti again.
Yeah.
We should play a drinking game with his name.
Seriously.
Oh.
Except I don't drink. But somebody could drink for me. That's fine. They could have like double the drinks. That's fine.
God. Kind of one of our last topics that we have here too is everyone's heard about Dave Bautista making comments about Disney and things like that, about what happened with James Gunn, and he says he may not return for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and he doesn't know if he really wants to work for Disney anymore anyway. This is something fairly recently. He was on a podcast and he was mentioning this. Just because of everything that's happened, he's like, you know what? He goes, I really don't even want to work for them anymore.
How do you end every one of our podcasts, Dennis? What do you say?
Children of Earth. Is that one? Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah, I think that's it. Way to pick up on a cue there, buddy. Okay.
I forgot. I had to think about it.
Yeah, it's you want to talk about somebody else who doesn't listen to our show. I think Melissa's followed by Dennis. Yeah, he's gone. He's talking himself right out of a job. There's no way he's fucking. I don't think there's any prayer he'll be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think they'll kill him in Avengers 4. They'll find a way to reshoot that bad boy. Would you want him around? I mean, he's that employee. I can't say I haven't been that employee once or twice in my life where you're just fucking totally unhappy and you're just hoping they will fire you. And he's hoping to get fired.
Yeah.
There's no way Disney's going to, Disney doesn't give a fuck, says Johnny Papas. They're like, whatever. What did Jeremy say from Geeks and Gamers? Recast him with The Rock.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Well, now he's also trying to push the Drax origin story. And he's like, they can do it even without me because he feels it's compelling. And of course, they're not responding to him about it. And why should they? Because he's out there bad mouthing the company, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. Also with this, there was some other Guardians of the Galaxy 3 rumors, I guess you could say. Paul Feig, the guy who directed.
Oh
No, not him.
no!
Yeah.
No.
So it was rumored that he was in line to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
What the fuck? Oh, God, why? What are they doing in Hollywood? So, okay, Hollywood, stop with the coke. This is not a good idea. Not at all. Okay?
Yeah. I don't think it was real. I think it was mainly some trolls, putting it out there and doing it as a joke, which was I thought was kind of funny at the same time. I was like,
you read that? You gotta really stop going to Gizmodo, dude. I think I saw that's on IO 9, right? And I think it was just somebody asking him the question. I mean, you might as well come up to me and go, I'm not going to direct Guardians of the Galaxy 3 either. Not even if they asked me, but I think it was more like that.
It was in my Google News feed, actually.
Which is from what website, Dennis?
No, it wasn't IO9. I know that.
Okay.
It was something else.
I mean, even if they are trolling, it is funny, but by the same token, some idiot in an office is going, Paul Feig. Oh my God, that's genius.
Yeah. You forgot. They went,
yeah.
oh, Paul Feig. That actually isn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
Is he just an ass kisser or something? Because I hated Ghostbusters 2016 with a passion. It's kind of right up there with Star Trek Discovery as one of my triggers. Why Paul Feig? He's the one who started all this mess.
Well, because he did so well, Mecca, with what was it, Bridesmaids?
Yeah, but that was
soon.
That was a long time ago. Let it go.
Yeah.
They can't.
That was a freaking Hangover with girls. I mean, that's it was good. It was a good movie, but it's not like it was original or.
Yeah, I really didn't like that movie too. It was, I don't know. I think it's not my humor. I think I'm not huge on the romantic comedies anyway. I really did not like Bridesmaids.
Yeah, and also Midnight's Edge says The Heat was a big hit for him too. For his as Midnight Edge says was a big hit for his dumbass too, and so was Spy.
Spy was it? I hated that movie so much. Ugh. Yeah, God, I remember seeing that too, and it keeps taking me to Kevin Feige. Yeah, Google's like, you mean Kevin Feige, right? You know what I mean, Paul Feig. You could not mean Paul Feig.
Google's trying to be smart.
Google's being smart about this. I don't know. I saw something like that too, and it was just him. Yeah, I was going to bring it up here, but I can't now. Shit. But it was just somebody asking him the question, and he said, "Oh, I wouldn't do it. That's James Gunn's film. Although I don't like the jokes he told. They were very bad, almost as bad as my Ghostbusters marketing." But.
Yeah. I'm like we talked about last week. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is dead.
Yeah,
it's not coming back. The characters are going to live on. The other characters other than Drax will live on in the Avengers movies. But yeah, that's about as far as it's going to go.
I mean, I think Batista's the only one out there still, like somebody said in the chat, beating the dead horse. Because everybody's quiet now.
Yeah, I know why he did it too, and he actually talked about it a little bit. Was I guess after his wrestling career, because he had some surgery that pretty much took him out of wrestling, and he was trying to get into acting. No one would give him an acting job, and I guess he was running out of money, like where he had nothing. And James Gunn kind of gave him a chance. Took a chance on him to bring him in, and that's kind of what kickstarted his acting career. So he said he was literally like not eating because he had run out of that much money, I guess is what happened. And so that's why he's very loyal to him. And yeah, I mean, I can see where his point is, where he's at with it. And
looks like he'll be out of money again real
soon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And some people just aren't meant to have it. And that's fine. It doesn't, money isn't everything. But yeah, I found it. It's on comicbook.com, but it was also on IO9.
Okay.
And yeah, the only thing he said was, I would never take anything away from another filmmaker. Feek said, you can think whatever, moralize about what James wrote. I don't make those kind of jokes. I don't like those kind of jokes, but still, that's James' franchise. I don't know. Like, did somebody ask him? Did Marvel huge dilemma in their hands? Yeah, because they would go to him to make things better.
I do.
And it doesn't say in what context this even came up.
It's like really out. That's why it was just kind of like one of those things I didn't bother posting on our site, because it was very weird.
So Paul Feig, whatever, is saying that they're coming to him, to make everything work. I need to go to him to make everything work in my life. So
you know what? Yeah, when something's screwed up, Paul Feig, that's the guy who'll fix it for you.
Yep. I'm gonna call him right now, putting him in my phone.
Fuck. Yeah, him and Ryan Johnson. They'll be directing episodes of fucking Sesame Street. That's what they'll be doing.
Midnight's Edge asks, what about Ivan Reitman? Reitman, I think he's leaving everything to his kid to direct now. I don't think he directs anything anymore.
I think he just produces.
Yeah, I think he just produces now.
Freaking George Miller. Get George Miller to do it.
No, why not?
Yeah, I can see George Miller. Yeah, I mean,
Miller did a Justice League film.
I know, really. That Warner Brothers, that still pisses me off that we could have had a George Miller Justice League movie. And that thing would have kickstarted the DC franchise easily. But no.
Tom says no. I mean, I would take anything away from a director. Crack. That's what he was talking about. I wouldn't take anything away from a director. Crack, except for Ghostbusters and Ivan Reitman.
And now, I mean, Miller's in his 70s now at this point, so it's it's gonna be tough.
Did you guys notice when Bill Murray was doing press for Ghostbusters and Mark Hamill was doing press for Last Jedi, they had the same fucking look on their face.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at the video, look at the tape. Yeah,
I'm working for money.
Despair. No, it's just like, no, I'm really sorry I took that check. It's like there's no amount of money fucking worth this. George Miller on Man of Steel 2, Niles Shadow. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, he's old, and I don't care.
Vaughn has said he wants to do Man of Steel 2, and I would love to see.
No, Matthew Vaughn can he can direct anything.
Yeah.
He did Kingsman.
Yep.
And Layer Cake.
Yeah, so Man of Action, George Miller was all set to do Justice League in, what was that, 2008, I believe it was, right before the writer's strike happened. He had everyone set up down in Australia and had his whole team together, had the script, everything, and then Warner Brothers pulled the rug out from underneath them. that's how he got the rights back to Mad Max, and why Fury Road came about was because he got his baby back and was able to parlay that deal into place. And yeah, this is as Gary is showing us right now, the woman who played Bait, if you will, in Mad Max Fury Road, that was supposed to be his Wonder Woman. She was actually cast as his Wonder Woman and would have been awesome.
She kind of looks better than Gal Gadot.
Yeah,
hard to say, just like as far as looking like Wonder Woman, looking a little more like Linda Carter, looking like just how she's drawn, little George Perez action there. Gal Gadot's got thin hair. Does that sound bad?
Yeah, she looks like she's balding in spots.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah,
I
not bad, but I mean, like, I don't care. But Wonder Woman has, like, I always think her with the big George Perez,
Linda Carter.
Yeah, Linda Carter.
Good day, David Hill. You heard us talking about Aussies, and he came in.
Good day, Bruce.
Yeah.
Anybody from Australia? We just call Bruce.
What?
I heard you guys talking about it last night's podcast, but I've been actually doing that line forever. So. Because everybody who who was it? It was on the podcast you were on with Tom Mecca that somebody was talking about what nerds used to do, and it used what we used to do is just recite Monty Python lines together back in the day.
Absolutely. Like the whole calling every Australian Bruce goes before YouTube for sure. Goes before the internet probably because of the Monty Python sketch. Yeah.
Thank you, Jody. Yes, Megan Gale is the name of the actress who was going to play Wonder Woman, and Arnie Hammer was going to play Batman. They even had his suit and everything. It looked freaking awesome. So yeah, I would have loved to have seen that version.
I was so down on that movie. When I heard about it, I'm like, whatever. The last thing George Miller did was the Pig movie and whatever. And God, I wish they'd made that movie now. I was so wrong.
Oh, man.
Oh, well.
Exactly.
You move on and you get shittier movies instead. Yeah, we can go on for a little while. How's everybody feeling? Is everybody still awake?
Yeah.
I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally awake.
Yeah. Speaking of quotes that geeks used to, we used to do the Conan quote. Conan, what is best in life?
Yes, the lamentation of the women. So your enemies driven before you.
Exactly. And I had a buddy of mine. That courtyard over at Ghirardelli Square.
Yes,
over there. He blurted that out for some reason without prompting. In the middle of that thing during holiday season when people were shopping, scared the shit out of everyone. The guy's like about 6'6", 250, and just for some reason decided to blurt that out like really out loud. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? So I don't know who this guy is.
Did somebody answer? Did somebody say what is best in life, and then somebody answered?
No, he just ended up, doing the line for some.
Oh shit! I think nowadays I want everybody to try that during the holiday season. Find a crowd and just go, "What is best in life?" and wait for somebody to answer. I think you'll get an answer within a second or a couple seconds,
Or you'll get arrested.
Either way, it's interesting.
Yeah, true.
I just want to go back to the very beginning of the podcast when we were talking about Iron Fist season 2. So there is a mention of, and this isn't a spoiler, by the way, of anything. There is a mention of Chinatown, the movie, and I've noticed now that there are references popping up about Chinatown, and it's always, it's Chinatown, Jake, is what the line is that people are doing. And it's funny because every time it's mentioned in a series or a movie or something like that that's modern right now, the person that they're saying it to is like a little bit younger person. They're probably in their 20s, and they get a blank look from them. And it's happened twice now in 2 different things that I've seen. This being one of them, and one was previous to that as well. And I started laughing, going, "Yeah," because you start saying these lines. Now you get to a certain age, and there's stuff that we, used to say a lot as kids and things like that, and older and all that kind of stuff that this generation just does not get.
No.
And that being one of them, it's Chinatown, Jake. which there is a reason for this. Yes, exactly, Jody. The sound of crickets is what you get. You can hear the wind when it blows. You hear it go right through.
I was looking at. We said George Miller, and it brought all the Australians. Oh, George.
They're like, George Miller? Where is he?
George Miller? Yeah.
What the hell was that? That was a Scottish accent there for a second.
Yeah,
That was not fucking Australia. What's a Gaza? They're like, Gary's a Gaza. I'm like, ooh, what's a Gaza? I have never heard. Maybe I'm even saying it wrong, but I guess it's a nickname for my name. I have never heard that in my entire life.
Gaza, yeah. If you're a Jeremy, it's Jezza. If you're a Sharon, it's Shazza. Yeah, that's prevalent because I had a friend that was Jeremy and he was Jezza.
God, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
My nickname was Beak. Gaza's way better.
Yeah.
You don't get to pick the nickname now.
Don't even
David Hill, Tasmania. I remember Yahoo Serious is who I remember from Tasmania.
Midnight
I've heard
Oil.
that name forever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Red Sails in the Sunset's my favorite Midnight Oil album.
Yeah, it was a good band too. I like them.
What about Blue Sky Mine?
Yeah.
That's another good song of theirs.
Yeah, it is.
There's also another Australian band. They only lasted for one album, but it was Big Pig is the name of them, and they were on the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure soundtrack. They're the main song that that opens it up and all that. That's Big Pig, and they have a killer album. There was only one, but they broke up after it. But still, it was a good album. Yeah, I got crickets.
In Excess. That's an Australian band.
Yes,
that's very unfortunate how he died.
Men at Work. Yeah. Yeah, David Hill. There we go. Big Pig. Yeah, you had the album too. Yeah, it was an awesome album, wasn't it? Yeah, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds as well. Yeah.
Oh, Nick Cave.
Yeah.
It's Australia night here on the Nerdrotic channel,
Exactly.
Everybody.
Welcome. Throw a couple of shrimps on the
Bobby.
Yeah. Tara 77 night. Tara's out.
I was annoyed.
Yeah, it is very heavy on the drums, David. That Big Pig album, it really is. But so speaking of weird Australian stuff, well, not really, but this I had no segue to it, so I'm just going over with it. Jack Black. Does anyone remember that movie that he made?
Yeah.
Nacho Libre.
Yes.
Yeah. A really bad movie. He wants to make a sequel to it.
You know, that was one of those things where it was the sophomore curse. They were coming off the high of Napoleon Dynamite, the Hess brothers, and then they did Nacho Libre, and it didn't do very well at the box office, at least I thought, but then I saw it grossed 100 million or something like that, and Jack Black wants to do it, but no studio takers, and I'm thinking, Jack, you should probably figure out why there's no studio takers.
Yeah. There's a reason for that.
2000, like when was he popular? 2004.
1999, I think is what it was.
No, it was after that.
It was like 2002, 2003.
Yeah. Okay. Like, why don't they do a sequel to School of Rock or something like that?
Well, he's got a better movie coming out because Eli Roth is doing a kid's kind of horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Clock Within the Walls, and that looks pretty good.
The house with the clock in the walls?
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
That's Eli Roth?
Yep.
I didn't know it was Eli Roth either. I was like, wow, okay. It's got really bad CGI. Everything I've been seeing for the CGI is horrible. So,
well, I think all these movies kind of have bad CGI lately.
I haven't seen good CGI. I saw, Infinity War on the 4K looked pretty good. But not, I agree with Random. All CGI kind of not been looking great. Maybe it's in some weird transition. It'll get good someday. It'll be, we won't be able to tell, but what is it? The uncanny valley. That's the part they gotta work on.
If Viking Bitch says Jack Black needs to make more Tenacious D.
He is.
Yeah, there is a, I think
And
there's a new movie, right?
yeah, I think that's what Midnight's Edge said, was that there is one that's coming out. So
He wasn't bad in Jumanji.
No, not at all. That was actually better than I thought it would be too.
Yeah. He was funny in that.
I really liked him in Demolition Man. He was a background character in Demolition Man, like in the underground.
That's a random statement.
Yeah, it was. I'm not a big fat Jack Black fan. I really am not.
Jumanji was good. I like Tenacious D.
Tribute.
Tribute. Fuck yeah. Oh, went on a couple date nights with Mrs. Neurotic see Tenacious D. Yeah, good stuff. But now he has
actually,
as long as he's not Green Lantern, I'm fine.
Yeah, God, I remember that. Tropic Thunder was actually really good with him in that.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty funny with the cocaine.
Yeah, Viking Bitch says, I'll take another D album. There you go. I met him I went to Jimmy Kimmel show and got to hang out in the green room, and I met him and Kyle. They were cool as hell. They were sweaty, very sweaty. They're cool. And we got to see him play in the back. That was rad. That was a good time.
I got to see them open for Ween in 2001 before they were like anyone. Like they were opening for Ween. I'm like, is that the guy from High Fidelity? Yeah, I didn't even know who he was. Or he might not have even been on High Fidelity yet. I know he was on Mr. Show in like bit parts here and there. So yeah, it was just such a weird, like, who is this band? Who are these people?
Yeah, I know. You're like, what the fuck? Like Dr. Demento music.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
Dr. Demento.
Instant buy. I think they did like the Fat Albert theme song and Land of the Lost. Yeah, it was crazy.
No, that was an instant buy for me too. And I like, how could I forget High Fidelity? That's love that movie so much. Oh, yeah, he was great in that movie. He's been in a lot. He was good in Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Tim F says, I smoked a joint with Tenacious D when they played in Detroit. Funny guys.
Awesome. Spark it up, Tim. You see Elon, you can smoke with him too.
Yeah, I know, really.
Yeah, he's never gonna fucking shake that down.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. I mean, dude,
he's been under a lot of stress. They've been finding him asleep under machinery at the factory.
I read a story on that. Yeah, that he sleeps in different places, like under a podium, under a desk.
He's got a big mega apartment inside the factory. So
is this for real?
Yeah.
He lives down there.
Wow.
He doesn't sleep, apparently, like, except when he's under a machine for a little while. So
yeah. Midnight's Edge says, I remember watching Made in America and saying this movie sucks, but that Fresh Prince guy is funny. He's going to be big someday. Predicted Johnny Depp would take off too.
I'd see that. I didn't. Fresh Prince, yeah, Johnny Depp. I would have never saw that coming in a million years. Where he is now.
For me, with Johnny Depp, where I realized he was going to be a big star was in Donnie Brasco.
Oh yeah.
There's there's that scene that is in the garage where he's hiding the money from his wife, and this is kind of where he's getting a little too deep in. And they have that conversation where he's just going off, and I was like, oh, he can act. Yeah, he's actually going to do some really big things.
Like Brad Pitt and 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, Brad Pitt with the 12 Monkeys. That was a turning point for me with him too. Yeah.
Forgive me if you heard this story before, but like I had to be reminded of this, and since I have somebody who could corroborate this in the chat right now, Doug, back me up on this, because I was with Doug. And I was with my friend Jay, who's been on here before. He did the Cobra Kai review with us. Mm-hmm. And we were cast. We were fucking nerds. So we cast movies. We're like, cast your X-Men movie. And we used to, the whole top 10 list. We used to do that shit all the time before that movie came out. So, yeah. Okay, Doug, you kind of do look like Kyle Gass. You do. But I love you, man. He does. Okay. So, I cast Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man like in 1999 or something like that. I picked him to play Iron Man, and it actually happened. Now, the only reason I picked him to play Iron Man at the time is because he had just gotten over like his out of his fifth rehab. So I'm all, you put a mustache on him from Chaplin, and he knows about alcoholism. So yeah, I think he'd be a good Iron Man. And it happened. I should be a casting director.
You should be.
I predicted Patrick Stewart as no, I'm kidding. Everyone predicted Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
Yeah, Wizard Magazine did for like 10 years. So.
Yeah. That wasn't
why? Because he's bald.
because he's
and he can
British
act.
and
Yeah.
bald. Shakespeare and actors. Midnight's Edge says, I remember people laughing at me when I said Affleck would be a good Superman like 20 years ago.
He would have been. I wouldn't have laughed at you, Tom.
Did you guys hear that Ben Affleck's script for Batman? Somebody recently came out and said it would have been the best Batman ever.
Really?
Yeah. I guess apparently he was working on a script, which now obviously he's not going to complete. But somebody said that saw it, and I forget where I read it. I want to say like a Deadline or something like that. Said that his script would have been the definitive Batman. Just like you've been saying, Gary, you want to see the real Batman. Apparently, Ben was working on that.
Well, Ben reads comics, or used to read comics. Like, used to be a giant comic nerd. So I could believe that. Joe Magnellen, I can't say his last name. The guy's playing Deathstroke. Manganiello, yeah. The guy that my wife likes agrees. He confirmed it.
Oh, yeah.
Batman
right.
plus the Raid plus Dredd. Fuck yeah, that'd be awesome, Renee. I mean, the Raid and Dredd are kind of the same movie, Raid Redemption, but that's okay. They're both good.
Jody, no, they're not using Affleck's script. Matt Reeves is going with his own script. So
You ever hear an interview with Matt Reeves? Sounds like he's 16.
yeah. Yeah, I know. Terra 77, the reason Batman became good again was Batman the animated. Terra, you're back again. Was Batman the animated series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Batman the animated series is here. I'm gonna hit that link that Johnny Pappas put up. Yep, there you go. J. Olivia calls Affleck's Batman script the best Batman script. There we go. Susan, don't tell no lies. Random, are you still with us?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just listening. I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
You know, you can interrupt. I do not shut the fuck up. You can interrupt whenever you want. It's okay.
Yeah.
Especially interrupt Dennis.
I don't know what you're talking about. I talk all the time.
I know. He's such a big talker.
I am.
I remember the early days of our podcast. You weren't as bad as Roger, though.
No, I was nowhere near Roger levels. I mean, so Roger, what do you think about that casting of Ben Affleck as the Penguin and Batman? They're going to be brothers. Yeah. No. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, we talk shit about Roger all the time, but nice guy, but yeah, he didn't give us a little bit more than what we wanted when we were doing the podcasts on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of yes and no answers.
No, it's not for everybody. Marcus Kahn, if you say that 2 more times, he's going to show up. Beetlejuice. Sorry. We talked about the musical. Yes. Is it Broadway? I mean,
it is Broadway.
It's Broadway.
It's Broadway.
I just want another.
You want another?
Yeah, she doesn't want to. She's. I'm talking to her like she's not with us here, and I totally understand when you're on somebody else's channel for the first time. You got to get your timing down and everything. It's all good. It's all good. But we have to get this because you guys you all have to come on our channel because like I've been on Doomcock's channel and Tom's. So yeah, we have to invite each other now. It's got to be a thing before the tribunal starts. So we're all ready to go when the tribunal starts, whenever that is.
And I need to make sure that I get all my audio stuff. Like if I would just stream this stuff, I usually use OBS. So I was thinking just use Google Hangouts. Is that something? I'm so worried that my audio is going to be screwed up every time because I change it so much on my OBS settings. But
It shouldn't be if you don't change it during the show, you should be fine. I could walk you through all that. It's really, really easy once you get the settings set in stone. I mean, sometimes there's little wacky thing. Make sure it's Chrome is updated. Dennis just ran into that. So
yeah, that was a pain in the ass. Johnny Papa says those 8 movies were so good. Yeah, Johnny, they were bananas.
Johnny, you have a wrench. You could time Dennis out for.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! It's Feisty Fan.
Feisty Fan.
Podcast, but love the Nerdrotic family. Best chat ever. Hi, Gary, Dennis, Susan, and Mecca Random.
Hi.
We love you,
Feisty.
Hey, Feisty.
It's game night for Feisty tonight, right? Game night tonight.
Yeah. Friday night is magic night. It's always magic night.
We Magic the Gathering.
Magic. I have some original Magic the Gathering artwork that I've.
Really?
So we don't
it's Venture Brothers.
Yes.
It's August.
It's a voice you can't stop. Nobody can mimic it right, and you can't stop mimicking it. It's like an earworm voice.
It really is. And it's they keep trying to get him to do a villain monologue at the beginning, to the introduction, and he keeps getting shit wrong. Because he's called Augustus St. Cloud, so he's supposed to be having like a weather
related
motif,
villain.
And so he's coming in a cloud, and then he's like, now is when the storm is coming, you're gonna need your rubbers. So you need to do a villainous laugh. It needs to be a deep, menacing laugh. Give us a what's that at the end? It's wrong, but it's
reset.
That's exactly Tim F. Yeah, and the Monarch's just sitting on the sideline. They're doing this on a tennis court on a roof of a building, and he's sitting on top. The Monarch is sitting on top of the referee stand with a megaphone, just yelling "reset" every time.
Yeah, that's perfect, Ed Brewer. The character's an Andy Warhol, Truman Capote hybrid.
Yes,
so it's
He even has a page boy haircut with the little glasses, the little round glasses. It's hilarious. It's on Adult Swim for the next couple of days. If you guys want, it's for free in the US.
Random doesn't do Venture Brothers.
You're missing out.
Everybody can't watch everything.
Yeah. And Susan's like, yeah, I don't care. It's some funny stuff. I could hear it. That's all. See, Feisty, I knew it was Magic Friday. She says, work the MTG Friday Night Magic. But usually I do D&D. Oh, okay. Yes, Mako, it's only free in the US. You have to watch it via Hulu everywhere else. Viking Bitch says, if you don't watch Venture Brothers, we can't be friends.
Well, for me, there was too many animal sad things that were kind of off-putting, on top of being kind of a show that I probably would watch anyway, because I never really cared about the Johnny Quest sort of shows in the first place. But I don't know. Maybe I just had a bad first episode or something.
Maybe. It does, like we were saying, the first couple of seasons are a little more random in their episodes. They kind of drop you in the middle of stuff that's happening already. And as we get to about season 4, that's when they started serializing a little bit more. And
it's not. Yeah, you got to be kind of in the comic to be into it, though. It's kind of a comic thing. That's probably why. I mean, it's got a really passionate fan base. It's really small. But they sound like there's millions of them, but there's actually thousands of them. But we love them.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really watch a whole lot of the. I was really the Adult Swim type of shows. They're really, really hit or miss. Even from the beginning for me. It's I would like Space Ghost Coast to Coast, but not Harvey Birdman even. So. Oh
my God! I almost forgot. Did you guys watch Menorah Team last weekend or?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I
Susan?
did. Yes.
What'd you think?
I laughed really, really hard.
It's pretty wrong, isn't it?
It is very wrong on
Yeah.
all sorts of levels. Probably stuff you should not talk about ever. But yeah, it was extremely funny.
Yeah. So we had talked about Minority Team last week.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them. I watched the picture of it, which is pretty fucking hilarious. But team, it's a superhero team of minorities, and
Yeah.
it's pretty
It's very
anti.
wrong.
Yeah, it's you know when we always get those damn articles from fucking IO9, like it's time. It's time for Minority Team, or this is what we need. This is what the world needs right now is Minority Team.
What I mean, what makes them the pantheon of deciding what we need? I mean, that ranks right up there with whenever a journalist starts with, and it's their own article, join our so-and-so from this site. It's like, you're writing the fucking article. It's not somebody else. What do you think you are?
And they're
Like,
usually 23.
yeah, I'm like,
Susan.
just stop.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So here's Minority Team. Minority Team.
Yeah. Just so wrong.
It is. I like the Kirby-esque art though. That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Do we go through all our news?
Oh, we did. We did go through all our news.
Right. That's good. We can wrap things up here in a few minutes. Get through some chat first. Let's get through some chat.
No, I've been bringing up chat here and there. One of the things that who was it who said Slurmy Scott says what amazes me is Random has never watched Forbidden Planet. Robbie the Robot, so good.
I've watched Forbidden Planet. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I have seen it.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what
I that was one of the things I was shopping for when we were talking about Forbidden Planet that night. I bought it for like I think $7 or something on Blu-ray. Yeah, I was super stoked. I actually didn't buy anything this podcast. Wait, we still got time.
I'm kind of surprised. Where else?
Oh, another thing I bought, you were talking about, Random was talking about the original series on Blu-ray was cheap somewhere and you didn't pick it up. And then I found it on Amazon for like $30. So I bought it.
Oh, the Star Trek, the original series?
Yeah, the original series. I just want to have a hard copy. I know I could watch it a million other places, but.
Niles Shadow says, I've seen people who don't understand. You're killing me, Smalls. I hate them. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I've actually said at work, have fun storming the castle. And people just kind of look at me like, what? And I'm like, Princess Bride? Really? You haven't seen Princess Bride?
Who? What? People haven't seen Princess Bride? No, I quote that all the time.
Oh, I do too.
I thought everybody had seen that.
You know?
That's like Spaceballs. It's one of those movies that everybody's seen.
Supposedly.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of I mean, my kids have even seen that movie. I think they're like the 80s are, I'm going to sound so fucking old when I say this. I almost don't want to say it. So the 80s are kind of a thing with the kids now. So they I love it when my kids come up. Do you remember this? For like just some stupid shit from the 80s. I'm like, yeah, I remember it. I do.
Yeah, I like throwing out
It's
every
all
now and
new
then.
to them. No, it's fun. You don't want to, discourage them too much.
I like throwing out the whole I'm a rebel daddy, a loner. You don't want to get involved with me.
You want to get involved with me now.
And they're like, my name's not Dottie. Like,
why are you calling me Dottie, weirdo? Why are you in my house?
Exactly. Why are you eating my mayonnaise out of the jar? What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, the kids have their own little weird things that like I won't understand. Back when I was doing gaming on YouTube, they would come in with like the weirdest things like, do you know Dawei? But it was spelled Dawae. I'm like, I don't know what that's from. Apparently it's from some video game that I don't care about. But yeah, the kids have a totally different language of too.
Just answer them back with all your base belong to us. And watch them go, what? And it's like, yeah, it's the same thing. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I started doing that for a while. I started quoting stuff, and and I had one kid tell me, "Okay, tell me I'll be back when you guys get it to 2017," because me and another person my age in chat were just basically doing all kinds of 80s references, reminiscing, all that stuff. And they're like, yeah, are we back in 2017 now?
Matthew
God,
Davies
please
says the dingo ate my baby, starring Brie Olson.
Happy
She could
birthday,
make that
David
face.
Hill. David Hill says he's 52 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Youngster.
Yeah. David Hill actually said the movie The Hunter with William Dafoe was filmed in Tasmania. Oh, speaking of Netflix and William Dafoe, that's actually kind of brought it up. There was a series on Netflix called Magic for Humans, which is kind of funny. And he's got every episode themed to different things. Like one was fear of technology. And in between like these different vignettes that he does street magic. Guy's actually pretty good. And so Impossible Questions was one of them, or something like that. And so he does a magic trick for somebody. He goes, and here's your question. He goes, do you ever look William Dafoe directly in the face? So like, when is it a good time to look William Dafoe directly in the face? And the guy's like, never. You never look at William Dafoe directly in the face. And it's like, magic, impossible questions. That's what it says. It was just this weird thing, but it was pretty funny. You had to be there.
I guess so. Yeah.
I love Jack Black and Pick of Destiny is what David Hill says. Oh, the Tenacious D movie.
Movie.
I have the special edition CD of that actually has a giant guitar pick in there. It's way too thick to actually use as a guitar pick, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing from the movie. They're chasing and trying to find the guitar pick made from the devil's horn.
I think oh man, a lot of my freaking Blu-ray collection got left at the goddamn comic store.
Really?
I didn't mean to leave it there, but like that was part of the deals. Once I walked out, whatever was in there is his, and I'm like, oh fuck, I left my fucking Blu-rays over there. Shit. So there went my Blu-ray collection. I had a huge one. Oh well. Now I have I just buy the shit. It has to be my top 20 all time for me to own it, or I just get it on digital. Yeah, I think I want to get that Ash puppet. That's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. So if you guys got nothing else, we can wrap it up at it's almost 11 o'clock. I'll run the Patreon video.
Yeah. Niles Shadow is actually throwing out a quote, a long ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo. There we go. Yeah, actually
they might get you.
one of my favorite quotes lately has been from Samuel Jackson, go figure, from the movie The Hitman's Bodyguard. And he pulls up in a car like really fast to pick up Ryan Reynolds. He looks over him and goes, "Tick-tock, motherfucker." And I've been using that a lot at work.
Oh, perfect.
And it's been kind of, yeah, I don't say it out loud to a lot of people.
Probably should.
What are you saying? TikTok, motherfucker?
Well, I've been pointing out my wrist, especially to there's a group of us that go out. We leave at the same time. We're going out to our cars, and sometimes they're lagging behind, and they know what it is. And I just go TikTok, and then they look at me like, okay, I know what we're talking about. So, oh god, no one's seen The Spirit, Renee Monsea with Samuel Jackson. No one was brave enough to watch that entire movie.
I did.
Were you?
Yeah, I did. I watched
Damn.
it.
I'm sorry.
It's a superhero movie. I watched it. But obligatory dumb fan. That's me. That's why I know so much about it. That's why you need to stop doing it, because it's guys like me that keep bad shit going. So got to stop buying it if it sucks.
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery, Last Jedi. This is our Patreon stuff. You get stuff if you join our Patreon. Patreon.com/nerdrotic. I'm sure it's a great sell, but it's getting late.
It's getting late, big guy. It's time to go home. The sun's setting.
My alarm. Why is my alarm going off at 11? That's weird. and you don't need to see that. So our next show will be, I guess, tomorrow. You're going to be doing Jack Ryan with Mrs. Neurotic.
Jacques Ryan.
Yes. And then we got a fucking jam-packed next couple days. Random. So our schedule is like crazy the next, but if you're gonna stream, just let me know. I'll push one up because I'm being a stream hog Sunday and Monday. So
Yeah,
I can shift stuff around.
I have no idea what time I end up streaming. I usually kind of just do it on the spur of the moment, and okay, is anybody streaming? No, okay, I can go live now, and I try and avoid other people streaming, but I always cross over with other people. So, but I know on Midnight's Edge it's usually 7 or 8 depending on the night.
Gotcha. Your time. Right?
Yes, Central.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I just because we've got Jack Ryan, and then I'm doing a book review. I forgot. We've got so much crap coming up.
We have Iron Fist season 2. Might
as well just show our website. I never do that.
Yeah. The spoiler review for Iron Fist is on Sunday, Jody.
Yeah. So we've got the Patreon hangout, the Expanse book review, Iron Fist season 2, Jack Ryan. That's gonna be Sunday. That's right. Can't do it Saturday. And the Nooner, which I've invited a bunch of people for, and then Better Call Saul, and then Castle Rock. Is that the season finale? No, we got 2 more Castle Rocks. So we got 2 more Castle Rocks. We only got 2 more Venture Brothers. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. But then we have Manifest coming up, and then there was another
Good
show.
Place is on the 24th. There's something else that's
17th.
coming up.
Good Place is on 17th. Yeah. Manifest is on the 24th, and The Gifted is on the 25th. Man in the High Castles, October 5th. Titans is October 12th. Daredevil's in November sometime. And I know we got some other date on one recently.
Punisher, I believe, is next year.
And we got a hard date on one of these. I forgot which one it is. Oh, well, I'll get back to it. Punisher's, February.
Mm-hmm.
February, March.
And The Tick is in February as well. Yay.
Yep. All right. So, Mecha Random, plug your wares.
I am Mecha Random 42. You might also be able to find me under Random Game User 42. I have a YouTube channel. I am a tribunal member with Doomcock and Gary and Tom from Midnight's Edge. And I have Patreon and a Twitter. And you can find all those links over on my channel. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, of course. Thanks for coming on. We'll have you more on a lot. And I will link your Patreon and your YouTube channel when this turns into a video as well.
Thank you.
Of course. Susan, plug your wares.
You can read my articles at 1428, where I'm now a co-site expert. You can also catch me at Heroic Hollywood. And I do Lodge 42, Lodge 49 reviews at TV Series Hub. You can catch me on Twitter at Susan on the Ledge, on Instagram at De Facto Scribe, and I am also on Facebook.
Brilliant. And we will have links to all that stuff when it's in there. You sound busy. You're an expert now.
Let's use that term lightly.
You're our expert. I'm down with that. Does it come with a pay grade cut? I mean, not cut. Do they give you some more cheese on that? A little more cheddar?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, they do.
Good.
Nice.
That's brilliant. I got
part of my plan to take over. Not Doomcock's territory. Another territory.
That'd have to be another planet, though, wouldn't it? I mean,
true.
I don't know if he'll start small. But
I don't think he's starting small, man. I think he's going. He's going for the whole enchilada all at once.
Well, he's already taking over everyone's YouTube channels. So.
Yeah. That tribunal thing was pretty clever. Start the tribunal and just take over anybody's channel.
Yeah.
Whatever. If it gets me clicks, it's all good. And I'm trying to buy time here so I can get to the super chat window that I freaking closed out. Read some more chat.
Closed it out. What's going on?
Oh, we are demonetized, you sons of bitches.
We are.
Why?
They are demonetizing everything now. I mean, it's just for a little while, so it's no big deal. It usually clears itself up in a couple hours, but it's weird.
Hey, we got $100 Hong Kong money, so we're good.
Oh, we're set anyway. Yeah, $4.99 for Movie Finobi. Johnny Pappas $2.01. Tomcat $5. John Teenet $100 Hong Kong. Feisty Fan $4.99 and Mary Ashmead $2. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes.
Super generous. Hope you guys don't get sick of us because we're going to be back a lot this weekend. So there's a lot to look forward to, and we'll probably throw in an extra like open live stream, or I might be somewhere else, or you can definitely check out Midnight's Edge after dark. I'm sure they'll be live streaming. I think I heard Monday.
Tuesday's ladies' night. We usually do like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, depending, unless there's like a lot of news dropping on like a weekend or a Friday or something.
Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye on our Twitters and stuff, and we'll announce it. And they will definitely be doing something. I'm sure Mecca will be doing something. I'm sure Doomcock's going to be doing something soon. So keep an eye out, and like I said, we'll be practically live streaming straight for the next 3 days. So it'll be fun. Yeah. And everybody, again, thank you in the chat. Ed Brewer, Jody, Feisty Fan, Man of Actions, Ken Jack Ben, Apple Crow, Baza. Is Baza, have you been here before? Are you new? Extra cheese, please. We're a different name. Do you guys I like new people, but if I haven't seen you before, I'm sorry, but that's cool. Renee, how's it going? Mako, Johnny Pappas, of course, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Feisty Fan, David Hill, Slurmy Scott, Niles Shadow, Carrie Dalton. Oh my God, there were a lot of people in here tonight. It only lets us go up so far, though, people. So if I miss your name, I'm sorry. Matthew Davies. Oh my! Oh, there we go. Tara 77, who left and came back, which is great. We always like that. And of course, I'm just gonna say, and Mecca Random 42, who just says I am. That's as far up as it goes. I am.
I think somebody said, "Oh, Random's here." I'm like, "Yes, I am."
And how's your father? Says I was listening for the last 20 minutes.
What's up? How's your father, you lurker?
I'm here. I'm freaking here.
It's okay. Yeah, I lurk in a ton of live streams, and I don't say anything. I'm in a ton of live streams. Oh, and Niles, what's up? Night gang. I said night gang. Yeah, so night everybody. So yeah, we're gonna head out because I don't know. Has anybody else got to work tomorrow, or is it just me?
It's just you.
Fuck, that sucks. Well, Saturdays are pretty chill.
Maybe you catch Elon, sleeping underneath your desk or something.
This explains why they don't drug test at fucking Tesla. Which that was the biggest shock when I got hired. It's like, so when do I pee? And they're like, you don't. I'm like, what? Really? And you guys work on cars? Pee test anyway? Okay. Not judging. That's weird.
That explains a lot.
It kind of does. New Tesla 420. Well, Apple Crow, that's what he wanted the stock to get up to go private, was 420. That was not lost on anybody. So rock on, everybody. Dennis, take us out.
Children of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah. Oh, crap. And Susan, say goodnight, Susan.
Good night, Susan.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. And say bye, Random.
Bye, Random.